No, they can hear me. Hey, everybody. I think they can hear me as I'm like, smile, Colby, smile. Just playing.
Smile.
Yeah, you better be smiling when this intro goes on the other side. Colby, if you're on the other side and you're frowning, I swear I'm cutting it. I'm going one. Hey everyone,
I
how
don't know
are
how
you?
to
You
frown.
heard it? Good. I love it. Yeah, no, we're just playing. Hi, this is Front End Horse. This is the Front End Horse live stream. I have my friend Colby Fayock here. Colby's great. Colby, want to introduce
Hello.
yourself?
I'm Colby Fayock. I'm a developer experience engineer over at Cloudinary, and I like to be on this show, Alex.
He says that everywhere. Honestly, it's weird. Like he'll introduce himself at parties. He's like, and I like to be on the front end horse thing. Like, what are your hobbies? Like
Usually it has a
being on
little
front
bit
end
more
horse.
enthusiasm, but
Yeah,
I'm working
I'm
with what I
I'm
have.
always behind you shouting "smile," and that's what it is. Yeah. But anyway, Colby, it's awesome to have you. You and I have been friends for years now. I think we met at a Jamstack conference. Well, I know we met at a Jamstack conference back in, I don't know, back when you could go to conferences. But yeah, man, it's been awesome just having you as a good friend over the years, and it's always fun to have you on.
Yeah,
You
man.
are one of the most prolific creators that I know of in terms of just
Well, thank you.
just raw output. You are constantly putting out a new blog post, a new video, a new just something, and it's just always awesome to see. And hi
Well, I
everybody.
appreciate you buttering me up.
Yeah, honestly, like it's rare that I search like how to do something in Next.js and I don't have one of your articles as like the top three things. So, chat, if you're out there and if you're using, Next.js, Gatsby, so many different things, I guarantee you've used a Colby Fayock article before. And yeah, they're always high quality, always good stuff. But enough about you, Colby. Chat,
Thank you.
how's it going? Good to see you, people. James Quick, good to see you, sir. It's been a minute. We've got to catch up. I haven't talked to you much since you've hit planet scale. So yeah, you're so big you are planet scale. Is that the tagline? Because if not, I want royalties for that. Mark Boots Red Orange, welcome. Amit's here. Good to see you. Walton, great to see you. You got Brent is here. Ben's here, and Ben, thank you for that 9 months tier. I didn't get a chance to push the PR for the chat. We on Tuesday we did an awesome chat, or an awesome theme for Show My Chat, which is Ben's fantastic project, and their little horses. And I added a drop chat. I did some more stuff to it, but I haven't
So cool.
merged the PR in. That chat will be on this screen soon-ish. But yeah, we're definitely gonna make this happen. But yeah, Adrian, good to see you too. So glad to be here with you, Colby. We're gonna be talking about a really cool thing that I think is getting bigger and bigger lately in terms of just like usage or awareness. Like people are starting to realize that there's this really neat thing that can make their share images really nice, and it's being used a lot for that lately. But there's just so many fun use cases for basically image APIs, right? And Cloudinary, I think, is kind of the most known
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's like a lot of kind of more basic APIs that provide a lot of value. Like I really like the image optimization, but then you can do a lot of creative stuff on top of that, like the image generation that you're talking about. And I know, I think Jason Langsdorff made that kind of go viral, was it a couple years ago with his social sharing cards, and it just has been able to kind of take off from there with a lot of cool implementations of it. Where yeah, you see a bunch of conferences doing it, which is a really awesome way to personalize and customize that experience.
Yeah, such a good point. Like, yeah, even conferences with like when you share out, like, hey, I'm going to the next JS conference. It's got like your name on it, and they're generating that just on the fly. Do you know if they use Cloudinary for that, or is that something else?
I'm pretty sure they use their own. Well, when I say they, I'm talking about Next.js. They,
Mhm.
I think what they or Vercel. I think what they did is they use Puppeteer to take
Got it.
snapshots of images. I might be wrong on that. I think that's what they do
Just
though.
wasn't sure
But
because I know
um,
Cloudinary has a ton of like big companies. So I just wasn't sure, and you tend to know a lot of the companies that are using Cloudinary. So I wasn't sure if
right.
you're like, yep, we got that one too.
I mean,
But
we
no,
we could definitely do those though. Like it's definitely a
oh yeah,
capable. I made a tutorial about doing something similar, but yeah.
yeah. So it like I've been using this for a little bit now, and let me actually like copy image address. Let me is there like a good online text editor? Or you know what? We're just gonna pop it open in Figma. We're gonna go here. I just use Figma pages for nothing. Like just whatever. This is Figma's like my ultimate scratch pad, basically. But basically, to create this copy image, this image right here. Oh, I think I copied it in there. To create this, I'm telling Cloudinary to give me. And I could I have prepared this ahead of time? Maybe I could have. But I'm telling them to give me this image at this URL. And if you can see, like, there's my font, Poppins is baked in there. Generate images with code using Cloudinary. Like, it's kind of meta that the generate images with code using Cloudinary image is generated with code using Cloudinary. So
Exactly.
I hope you all appreciate that. I was even able to upload my font and like use that. There's just
Oh, nice.
using this API is so powerful, and I'm able to generate all of this text. Like the only thing that's kind of static is like the background aspect, and I think that logo. That's the only thing that's baked in. The rest is added on top. And it's
And here's
just
a fun fact for
yeah.
you. If you ever wanted to convert those to like cool moving social images, I'm pretty sure you can do this all on top of a background video. So if you wanted to make like an awesome little social media
Ooh,
thing, that'd be fun.
I kind of
That,
do.
save that for next time.
We're gonna I have to have you back on. All right, all right, we can do that absolutely. Yeah, like even the rotation, like that's just another property that you pass. You can choose the colors. Like it's just such a powerful thing, and it saved me a ton of time. Not having to make all these in Figma anymore. Like the day that I spent making this has paid off. Just I don't have to do it anymore. Sometimes it gets a tricky if my title's really long, so like I'll go in and hand do that one. But I can still fix that with code. Like I've got certain bits of code where if the name is very long, like I check for the characters. Like if number of characters is greater than 19, drop the font size. Like you can just do all those kinds of things with code, and it just makes
Yeah.
having to run this show a lot easier. So for people with a blog, it's great to have, like you don't want to make 300 blog images that say the detail of the thing. So we're actually going to do neither of those things
Absolutely.
today. Is that correct? We're not going to do a show thing or a blog image, but it's going to use the same sorts of skills that someone might need
Yeah.
if they're doing a blog image. Because the blog image, like the OG image, it's cool, but it's kind of been done. But you kind of came up with a fun thing that hasn't been done as much, right?
hmm
Oh,
And that
oh,
is,
oh, so
bum,
sorry.
bum, bum.
James just said, I'm going to cut you off entirely. James
Oh,
said, Cloudinary can
wow.
change your font size to fit automatically. I need to figure out what property that is. That's awesome. And James,
So
I also
there
need to
is,
answer.
and I haven't figured that out myself. Like there's a couple ways that you can do it. So um like I know the one thing that you're doing is you're having the text drop to the new lines, which is helpful. I haven't figured out where you can both have it drop down and grow so that it's kind of taking up that space. But there's
Got it.
definitely some options.
Got it. Yeah,
You can
I don't
get
know.
tricky with it.
It's a fun thing. I don't know who. Yeah, it's like David Fitzgibbon. I didn't drop it enough apparently, but yeah, it's a super cool API. But we need to we let's talk about what we're going to be working on. So we were thinking of making trading cards. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Of sorry, I was setting you up to
Oh,
take the ball a little bit further.
oh, oh, got it. Got it. Um, yeah, we're gonna create trading cards of the friends of front end horse. So we're going
Awesome.
to, it'll be a very similar concept to actually kind of what you've been doing, but we'll kind of throw some extra tricks in there to make it a little bit more fun and educational.
I love
Uh,
it.
but yeah, some awesome trading cards that we can go get printed and have a cool deck, right?
Well, absolutely. Or here's the other thing where I have seen and loved for a little bit now this wonderful trading card hollow effect, and I kind of want
Mm,
the friends of Front End Horse, and by friends I mean like people who have been guests on the show and who are already in my Prismic database, um, to be able to look as badass as Charizard. So I
that's pretty
say
cool.
we generate some images, and I love that Simon even shows how that they're pulling that off here. Like it's just such a cool code panel. I'll drop this in chat. But yeah, I would love to combine what we come up with the holo card so that we get you and James Q Quick as holographic images like this,
I'm
right?
so
Like it's so
excited to be a
good.
holographic
And
image.
Ben, yeah, Ben's gonna look just as badass as Charizard
Oh,
for
Ben.
sure. And we all, I mean, so we can generate them like all. I think we can just query all
Yeah.
of the guests and make it. So we'll come back to the HTML and CSS part of this because we're gonna spend some time setting up the actual like like pulling in the images and then rendering essentially these things out using the Cloudinary SDKs. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And for the list of images that you're doing, and I know a lot of people kind of default to use kind of poking around the Cloudinary URLs manually like that, and you certainly can do that. You know, that's definitely a feature, but it can be very handy and kind of help tame your mind for some of the complicated things that you can do with the URLs by being able to use the SDK and kind of being able to organize it visually. So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll try to walk through using the SDK to put these together.
Cool. I am excited for that. So, what I did a few minutes before the show, I'm being, just transparent with you, chat. I spun up a new Next.js app and I pulled in some scripts for getting my getting all of the guests from Prismic. I haven't tried it yet, so there might be a bug in that code. But we should be able to get all guests in here. So let's see if we can just console log those. But should we spin this up? Oh, yeah. Let's spin this up. Let's first make sure we're getting things in from Prismic. Okay. Hopefully, we won't spend much time on that.
Yeah.
If yeah, it shouldn't take time. npm run dev. Just kind of like froze on like, what's the command for this? That's always a good sign. So let's see. Oops. What's command K do? Because I hit that first. Let's see. Is it console log? Something's broken. Let's see what happened. Import trace requested module pages index. Next dev client equals create client. That should be okay. Oh, I'm not importing the client. That makes sense. Okay, so import client. Is that? I think it might be create client from Prismic. Nope, from this file. So this is, yeah, exporting create client. Cool. Sorry, one sec. I thought I had everything. I was missing this thing. So //
You're close.
yeah. Prismic. Cool. There we go. Let's try that again. Shouldn't need to import create client. Was it the default? Export const create client. Prismic IO create client. Import create client. Can't resolve Prismic IO. Do you see what's wrong here?
Not yet.
I'm in
Going
pages.
to the
This
top
should be
level,
in the
Prismic.
same. So this is an index.
There's not an issue in the Prismic IO file, is there, for the actual library? Or no, that wouldn't be that Prismic IO.
Create client config. Yeah, this just seems to be straightforward. We're only doing this. What's the thing? What is the issue? It says it can't resolve Prismic IO.
It's weird because it doesn't even show
Yeah,
the
maybe I need to
correct.
refresh the,
Yeah.
because that's not what I'm saying, right? Like that's not what's written
Right.
there. So that's weird. Let's see.
Or wait. Is that import statement somewhere else? Look at that import statement because it looks like maybe you have that.
You are right. It's coming from the
See,
API. Good call.
yeah,
From / Prismic IO.
there we go.
Good eye. Import create client from Prismic IO. / Yeah, that should be good. Now we're getting an error. Unknown type. Data equals await client get all by type. So async function. Unknown type. Oh, is this coming from the, okay, get all guests. Okay, so that's not what they're called in Prismic. Let me check. Sorry, chat. Let's try to get that together real quick. So basically the error is just that
Almost there.
my API ID, yeah, get all by type should be player. Get all by type. Client, get all by type. Yeah, it should be player now. Let me look at this. Let me just.
I mean, it shows right in the console there that player should be correct. Is that the right
Yeah.
method?
Let me just make sure. Get all by type, player. Is there anything else I need to pass here? String. That should be it, right? Looks good. Don't know why it's complaining. Yeah, what's it
Does it
logging?
compile successfully?
Player
Maybe it was just like
actives,
being
show
wonky.
types, CC themes. Expected one of player. Get all by type. Sorry, chat. I know this is boring. What is
So
chat saying?
if you look at the error, it says that the declared type is page. So is there another instance that you're doing that?
The declared type is
Like in
page.
the if you go back to the browser,
Might be the
see at the top there it says where is it? Yeah,
declared
undeclared
type
type page.
page. This might be coming from right here. Let's see page. Where's page showing up? If doc type equals page, yes, that's coming in our link resolver. I'm gonna get rid of this. Just return slash. That's fine. Routes type page. So player. Just go path. UID. That's fine. Is there anything here? Page props. That's coming from app. That's fine. And then that should be fine. So let's see what else is happening here. There we go. All right. Thank you, Colby. That was it. It was our link. I didn't think our link resolver would come into play here, but that's my fault. Sorry about that, chat. So now that we're set up, we've got all of our guests in here. Look at the top one. Look at
Hey,
you. Look at, I think it shows
the top
I
one.
just
It is the
edited you.
top one.
I just edited you to update your description. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think I do a good job of like all the data I have in here for folks, but at least you have a new description. So we can start with that.
There we go.
I'm glad we got through that little thing. I knew there was a reason I would be a guest on the show. Amit, see, like that's what we're. See, this is the new perk. Honestly, we should probably put this on the thing. Ishan, thank you for the 100 bits. That feels nice after sweating bullets there. I appreciate it because like that's not the point of the show, right? That's the part where like if Colby starts to get stuck, that's fine. If I start to get stuck with just the setup, that's not
There's
okay.
always something to learn in debugging.
There's always something to learn. All right, cool. So we are set up with that, and now let's just kind of show that we are set up by outputting this stuff. So what we're gonna do, and Colby, correct me if I'm
Jeez.
wrong, we're just gonna this isn't gonna be like a proper website for the most part. It's just gonna be like outputting
Mm,
a bunch of images, right?
for sure, for
So
sure.
we're going to console log guests. If we're console logging guests, let's look at where the image is.
Let's just
So
dump out all the images. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna do like the first like 10 or so, so we're not like crushing Cloudinary when we start to, you know. Um, avatar URL. So data avatar URL I think should be it. So if we go guest.map, well, I'm going to do guest.slice and 010
Yeah.
and then map, and then we're going to do guest. No, we don't have a style, so div, and we're just going to do image, and the source is going to be we should get data off of this, so data and then avatar, right? Data avatar, and then we'll just go avatar.url. I'll bump this a little bit for chat, and this should be good. Nope, still doesn't like something. Yeah, so we got to do that somewhere. Where's
I
that?
think you're missing an extra paren.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Copilot. Now what? I need a key, right? Key equals avatar.url. Perfect. And this is an alt tag, but that, oh, right, it's going to yell at me for that. Did I get it right? Did I map to the right spot? No, it doesn't look like I did.
Aren't you? Isn't that renaming the data
Yeah,
to
you're right.
avatar?
You're right. Let me do data dot. Yeah, I need to put it in a bracket first, right? There we go. All right, yours is smaller than everybody
Yay!
else's.
Wow.
I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to mention it. It's fine. Size doesn't matter with this sort of thing, but we're going to try to make yours a little bit bigger as we go. So we've got our images, Colby. My job's done here. What do you want to do from here?
So let's get started first by setting up the Cloudinary SDK.
Okay.
So you have a bunch of options when dealing with the SDK. I personally like to use the Node SDK. I personally like the way that um, the API for it. So we can do that by installing the. So you probably want, yeah, you want to find the node one.
Cool. We we don't have to go here. I'm just giving something,
Okay.
giving the audience
Yeah.
something a little eye candy to have
So
while we're
what we'll
doing this.
use is the V2 of the Node SDK. So
Okay,
you'll want to npm install Cloudinary.
just that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I like all of our kits are like Prismic, like at Prismic IO, and then like
Oh yeah,
slash
yeah,
like
yeah.
node or slash whatever. So they're just kind of
I
like waiting
think
for
some of the
the.
newer SDKs use that kind of pattern,
Got it.
but
Well, I mean, I
the
guess
Node SDK, yeah,
you wouldn't do a pattern in npm of it being if it's specifying node, but like our packages specify like React or Vue, so that's what we're just used to that.
trying to do.
And that's it. We just boot up
Yeah.
again.
So, yep. So, and once you're ready, we'll import it. But the way that we're going to import it is you're gonna import it destructured, and you'll say v2 as Cloudinary because then we'll
Cool.
use the Cloudinary from that.
Okay, nice. And I forgot I'm actually not using the client in here because I'm using. I just abstracted it out, so I kind of forgot that I wasn't using client there. But yeah, just using little abstraction. So import. Is it v2 like this or
Yep. Yep. V2 as
okay?
Cloudinary.
Look at that.
Yep. Right. Exactly like that.
Nice.
That's Copilot.
Yep.
Cool.
Smart.
And then we can start actually configuring uh, the SDK. So to do that, we're going to run Cloudinary. We're going to create a new instance of it. Or rather, we're going to run cloudinary.config.
Okay.
So
Right here, my get static
I
props or
so you can either do it there or like I usually do it at the top of the file, which is
okay.
completely fine as well.
Cool.
So just cloudinary.config, and then we're going to want to pass in our cloud name.
Our
And
cloud
because we're
name.
not using that should suffice, we probably don't need a so cloud underscore name is the property key. I'm sorry, it needs to be an object.
Okay. Cool.
And then yeah, cloud underscore name and then
Cool.
your cloud name.
So I'm using mine for this.
I mean, we could use mine if you want.
I can use
It
mine. I just gotta
doesn't really
find
matter.
it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably on my image, right? And
Yeah,
also,
we
how?
could just use mine.
Okay. I mean, mine's front end horse, so mystery solved. We
There we go.
we got that one. Cool.
Yeah, I mean the cloud name's not like a it's not a secret by any means
Okay.
because when you're just showing a
It's
Cloudinary
in
URL,
the
it's
image,
ultimately going to be in there.
right?
Yeah. Um, so now that we have that set up, we can actually start to build some of the images. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use the Cloudinary image method. So the way that that works is we can, or I'm Cloudinary URL because the image will actually give back the HTML. So we can just start off with something really basic where we can create that URL to get started with like constant URL equals cloudinary.url. And then what we'd want to do is we want to pass in some kind of key into that URL, which is going to be a public ID. So in that instance, we'll need to kind of poke around the your Cloudinary account and find an image that we can use there. Now, one thing that I like to do for this particular demo is I like to upload a 1 pixel by 1 pixel image, and then I transform that on the fly. Because the cool thing about that is, especially if you're creating solid colors as part of your trading card, you're able to kind of morph that into whatever you want, right? So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do.
Got it.
But if we're just working with solid colors, we can really make that whatever color we want programmatically without having to have all those images uploaded by default.
Cool. All right. I just created probably the best thing I've ever done in Figma, and that is 1 by 1 pixel image. Is this good? It doesn't matter if it's PNG or
Yep, yep,
JPEG
yep.
or anything. All right, cool.
Nope.
Lucy's saying let's all upload images to front end horse bucket. Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, Lucy. Great.
I'm
No,
glad for
but
that.
James also said that Copilot is too good. Yeah, it's honestly surprising. And I keep saying to people that the better your comments are, like if you just drop a comment before a thing you want to happen, it's really good at figuring out how to do that. Like I don't use it for everything, but I use it a lot for replacing Stack Overflow. So all the things of like how to reverse an array or like all those kinds of like manipulation things. Like oh like how would I like obviously not reverse an array, but right like all those kinds of things where it's like oh I want to take like the third of every thing if it's divisible by 2. You just type that in a comment. It gives you a function that does that thing. It's wild.
That's
Nikolov,
awesome.
welcome in. Good to see you. Good folks coming in today. Love it. All right, so I've got I'm looking at my Cloudinary console, my dashboard. Am I good to drag this over? I'm seeing an API key. I'm guessing that's my
I'm
public key,
looking at the
and there's a secret.
documentation, just to be
Okay,
clear.
so there's a secret that's starred out. So I
Oh,
think we're
you don't
good
want to
there.
show. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, I mean, you can just hop over to your media library,
media library, cool.
because we don't need to be on the front page of that.
All right, cool.
Um,
This looks good to
that
show.
way we can actually see it. Yeah. So once we're there, we can just drop in that 1 pixel by 1 pixel wherever you want, because
Okay,
ultimately what we need is the public ID of it.
sounds good. All right, downloads. So I'm just doing this off screen a little bit. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Trying to grab the 1 pixel. It's tough to grab, to be honest. It was a little bit small. Cool. So I've got this. Can I give it a different name now that it's up?
Yeah. So if you click in manage it,
Cool.
use the manage, you can click up into the top there. Yep. And change it to whatever you want.
What would you recommend? Like just having worked with this a lot.
So I literally just named mine white because it was a white 1 pixel by 1 pixel square. You
Genius.
can do, I know it's very creative.
I love it.
Um,
It's now white. All right, there it is.
so now that you have the public ID, you can add that as that first argument into cloudinary.url.
Just the word
Um,
white.
yes, because that's the public ID. So that's
Okay.
how we're going to reference the image to the Cloudinary SDK,
Let's just do.
or
I'm
rather
actually
the
gonna change this
Cloudinary
just to
API.
BG instead.
Okay, yeah.
Just because I'm difficult. Yeah. So we're gonna do that Cloudinary URL
But what if you have a
BG.
different BG?
This is the BG. This is the BG to end all BGs. So
But for now, let's just close that out
okay.
and see the URL that it generates, just so we have like a starting point.
All right. Cool.
Um,
Should
so I guess
log
we're
it from
gonna
here.
eventually wanna, yeah, we're
Testing
eventually
it.
gonna want to generate one of those for
Each
each
guest.
yeah. But for
Yeah.
now, I think we can just do that.
All right. Just
Looks
log
like,
it.
are you getting an error for cloudinary.url?
No, it just doesn't know it as a word. I also have a spell check
Oh,
plugin,
got it.
so
Got
just
it.
ignore it. I think it yells at me for Prismic too, or like front end horse, right? Like it's just gonna yell at me. It helps with my because I do a lot of writing in VS Code. It helps with that.
Mm,
Not so
I'm
helpful
sure.
elsewhere. But let me see. Did we get a? I'm trying to. I have so many windows open now that I'm just like tabbing around. It's a beautiful chaos right now, chat. Module not found. Cannot resolve FS.
So I guess maybe try moving the config instance into get static props.
Okay,
My bad about that.
all good.
So the issue with the Node SDK is because it's the Node SDK, it doesn't work on the client side. So it uses some Node SDKs that aren't that are required, you know.
Yeah.
So let's see if that part works.
That should be better now. Cool. So the images are
Yay.
showing up, and we should see our log here because it's happening. Server side module not found. Cannot resolve FS. Oh wait, no, that might be old. That might be old.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's definitely old.
I hope so, but I'm not seeing. Did I console log? I thought I console logged. Yeah. Let's refresh this. Not seeing. I'm just gonna restart the server. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay. Just
Oh,
took a
I
second.
was gonna say, did I do something wrong?
Oh, good. No. So there it is. Look at it. Chat.
Yeah,
It's there.
we
Trust
did
me.
it.
Trust
We
me.
did it.
It's very small. But yeah. Okay. So we
But
got
as we
it.
can say, like at this point, all we're doing is we're
Just
we're
getting
referencing
that
the image that's inside of Cloudinary.
Right.
But what we're going to do is we're going to build on top of this like an empty canvas, and we're going to start using overlays to achieve what we're trying to do. Right. So the first thing we can do is we can actually start setting up the card itself. So
Okay.
we can now create that second argument.
Okay. So that
Where it's going to
object.
be a configuration object. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And we could set up the base of the card before we actually start to dig in, unless you want to start that loop, whatever you want to do.
I'm good either way. So yeah, I'm good to go either way. I guess we could start just making yeah, we
Probably
could
be easier
start the loop
visually. Yeah.
if we start the loop.
Yeah. So let's just create like a new constant called cards, unless you want to append this card to each of the guests inside that array. But we can complete that map that you have there.
Yeah.
where for now we can just return a new instance of that Cloudinary URL and just pass that along as props.
Cool. So it's return URL.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then close that out. And then, oh, did this not? What's
You
happening?
probably want to get rid of that console log.
Yeah, but there's something else that's busted. What is it? Cards. Doesn't like being in there.
There shouldn't be a paren around the brackets, right? The curly braces of the return statement.
Shouldn't be. Sorry, I'm missing it.
The extra paren.
Is there an extra one there? I don't
I
know.
might be wrong, but I after the arrow function now, should there be a paren on that?
I'm just gonna redo this so that it's like sometimes when I take Copilot's advice, I'm like, I'm I'm a little too on autopilot. You know what I mean? And so I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening.
So I think what if you have that paren there, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's going to return it as an object. So that's already returning it.
Oh
So
yeah, got it. Yep, yep.
yeah,
See, that was the auto thing where like I wasn't expecting that to be there, and I didn't know
yeah.
what parenthesis you were talking
So
about.
many parens.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, like I was looking at the end, and yeah, so I didn't expect it to do an implicit
Thanks for
return,
confirming,
right?
James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
now
I
at this
just didn't
point,
say it.
you want to just want to pass it as a prop, and then we can just render those images instead of the guess.
All right. Sounds good. So we want to instead of guests, we're gonna do cards, card slice map,
Yeah.
sure, and then it's just
At
card
that point,
dot
yeah, card.
URL.
Like that's all.
Just
Just
card.
card.
Yeah.
Because
So
when you
card.
create that cloudinary.url, it'll literally just return that URL.
Cool.
The difference, if I'm not mistaken, is cloudinary.image will return the image, I believe, the HTML for it, which
Okay.
can be handy depending on like what you're trying to do.
Got it. So image. Sorry, inspect. So you got a bunch of
If you didn't
divs.
change the key, I would imagine. Oh, okay, so you do have that. Never mind.
It's
I
gonna
thought I
probably
saw you getting a key
complain
warning.
two children with the same key, yeah, but it'll be all right.
Oh, because we don't have unique ones already. Yeah,
It's
that's
all
true.
the same, yeah.
Okay, so let's start doing something with it.
Yeah.
So in that second argument, we can start defining the actual card itself.
Okay.
So let's start off by just creating a width and a height. Um, this can be really whatever we want to do. Just from a past demo that I did, a good width and height could be 864 by 1200. And that's really just a ratio, figuring out a good ratio for a card to
Okay.
put together. And at that point, we can. Do you want to add a border? Some of
Yeah.
the cards have nice little
Yeah.
borders
I
around.
was gonna do
So
it in
let's
the
add a.
CSS if not. So yeah, border.
So let's border, and then let's see here. You can. I think it's kind of like CSS where you would want to do how many pixels you want, but you have. I think it's actually autofilling completely fine. So if you just autofill
Really?
that,
That's right?
and then change the color to whatever you want and the size.
Oh, that's
I
so
believe that should
funny.
work.
Oh my
Yeah,
see, James, like Copilot. It
yeah.
knows what API we're working with and it's nailing it. It's
You just need
it's
to do
really
a stream of
nice.
Copilot instead of me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I'm just gonna put the Copilot thing over all the guests' faces from now on. So it's just like this person. No, we can just go with black for now. That's fine. That's what I.
Sounds good.
Nice. So I'm zoomed in a
Yeah.
lot. I think maybe not.
And I think by default, like
Yeah.
Next.js doesn't have any kind of like image attributes on there. So maybe it'd be easy if we set up a quick CSS grid on that container, just so that it's easy to dump out.
Cool. Yeah, styles container. So styles are here. So this is just the defaults from the create Next.js app.
Yeah, and one thing I also like to do while you're doing that is also I like to go in global and add a max width of 100% on all images and a
Okay.
default height of auto. Just because if not, the image will typically expand the container, which is no bueno.
Cool. Good tip. So display grid, grid template columns. Sure. I love it.
Sure.
We can do that. Let's do a little gap too. To rem. Yeah, I was about to say that. All right, cool.
It
Nice.
knows what you're thinking.
Yep.
Cool.
Sweet.
So, we're not looking at much yet, but we have our basic starting point for the cards, right?
Yeah.
So now we can, at this point, just kind of customize to whatever we want to do. Now, the first thing that we can do is we can change that background color, right? So what color do we want to make the background? Are we going to stick with the
Oh no.
two border pixel,
So
two pixel
I
border?
think we might want to like hold on. So inspect. I kind of want to like grab a couple images. Oh, how are they? Where's the image in this actually? That's cool. So it's on the before. Or it's on the before, I guess. It's a background on the before somewhere. Could probably find it easier in
It's
here.
not the
Let's
image
go
itself.
JPEG or PNG because there's no
Is it
image.
on the image itself, or I mean
It's
the div itself?
might be. You might be right. Might be it.
Hmm.
Bulba Garden. That's the back. There's the
Oh, that's why,
pixel.
because it's variables. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. I clicked the wrong thing. Go back, please. All right, cool. Copy. Actually, I just wanted to get the actual like image so I can drop it into Figma. So,
Yeah.
but I can't like grab it easily from that because of those effects. Those effects are too sick. All right, copy image. Where's my Figma? Let's just take a look at it like in isolation before. So yeah, wow.
Yeah.
First off, the design on this is just really good and complicated. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get anywhere near this, even if we had like the full power of Figma and not just working in like, a text-based kind of thing. But yeah, so in terms of background, okay, for a stretch goal, does Cloudinary have a way for me to look at, say, you know, an image and pick out the most like pervasive color there? Like for yours would also be yellow, right? Like, does it have that ability or?
A good question.
Okay.
I can look that
Okay.
up on the side as we're
So
doing it.
so
I'd be
for
surprised if
chat,
there doesn't.
yeah, I think they might have a way, but I think it's kind of complex. Um, for chat, Colby works at Cloudinary, but the Cloudinary API is like learning the encyclopedia. Honestly, there's so much to it. I think you just learned how to use green screen and a video together just today, right? Like just to
Yep. Yep.
if there's a video with green screen in it, you can just like use a little function or whatever and it'll handle that automatically. Like Cloudinary has so much to it. It's so deep. So if I ever ask
I took
Colby,
the Shia LaBeouf green screen video and I put like a mountain video behind it.
yeah, it was
Like
it
I was
was
just
it
playing
was great.
around, but like
It
it's
was
cool
great.
that you can do that, right?
Yeah. So like I just want to vouch for Colby in that if I ask a question about the API that he doesn't know, it's because it's kind of unknowable, except but maybe like one person at
There's just so
Cloudinary
much stuff.
knows it all. Yeah, there's just a ton there. Cool. So we've got this. We were going to give a background color, right?
Yeah.
Let's just
So
go
the
for
way that
like
we're going to
yeah.
do this is so we have our basic images, and we're going to use that same white 1 pixel by 1 pixel. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a new overlay with it. Where that overlay, we're going to change the color of it first and foremost, and then we're going to position it where we want on that image so that we're basically creating that new additional layer on top, which will be that new color.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and the way that we'll do that is we will so first of all, we want to pass in a new property called transformation, which is going to be an array.
Okay, is this where like all the magic happens now? Like the rest of our
This is
work's
where
gonna
all the
happen in
magic
here?
happens.
Got it. So
Now,
the
this
rest is
array is
just
going to get pretty long, but
yeah.
this is like all the different things that you can do.
Got it. All right, cool. I've got a transformation array, and these going to each be objects of transformations.
Yep.
Got it. So
Yep. And you can think
just
of it just like a chain, right? It's like we move through each transformation, and each time we can either transform the last thing or, add an additional overlay.
got it. So is it like when at the end of the day it's going to be separated by these slashes? Is that what like is going to get
In the
output to?
URL. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
Yep.
so having worked with this is kind of like how I understand. Like I want to put my name there, and I pass it all these different properties of the width, the way it fits in there, the color, it's centered, right? Like I have to pass all this stuff, and then the
Mhm.
slashes are the delineations between the transformations.
Like each of those are its own sets of transformations, and technically if you look towards like the middle of each of those, the L underscore text,
Yeah,
those are overlays, particularly text overlays. So
got
you're
it.
creating a text overlay transformation along with the configuration for that particular one.
Got it. And then this one is an image because that's your picture.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, so
Yep.
it's
It's
cool.
exactly like layers. Yep.
Awesome. That's really, really cool. And Beardus is here. Pokemon cards come a long way. Yeah, old Charizard from 97 looks quite busted comparatively. Yeah, like they've really gone all out. Um, and yeah, it's like Cloudinary is crazy powerful. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into this. All right, so what are we doing first here for the transformation?
Sure. So we're going to pass in the overlay property in that, and we're going to use overlay BG. So the BG, I'm sorry, as a string BG, because what that's
Okay,
going to do is it's going to reference that 1 pixel by 1 pixel that we
cool.
created, right? Um, then once we have that, we
I'm
can
gonna turn
set
off.
the width and height that we want it to be.
All right, cool. I'm gonna turn Copilot off because I think it's not helping as
Okay.
much as it's jumping the gun for you. So with what do we want for that? Whoa, Ed, thank
So
you for
for
the
the
7 months. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Wow.
So the one thing we want to do to consider here is because we have that black border on the outside, we basically want to take the card width and the height minus that border because we're going to create and set an overlay right inside of that. So what we could do, just to keep this like easier in our brain, yeah, I think you're going to do it. Create a variable for that.
Cool. That's smart. 864, and
I
then
think that's
oh,
width,
you
just
are
for
right.
for. Yeah.
Const height. I'm gonna do it again as 1200, and I'm gonna go back, doubling back with cool. All right, nice. So
Yeah.
now we can pop those in. Just get rid of that. Just get rid of that. I love whenever we can do that. And then,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, am I the only one that uses the space bar as a
Oh.
backspace key? Because of like prettier, like because of formatting. So here's the thing. I've got my right hand on my mouse and my left hand having to go across and move it to hit my backspace key isn't fun. So
That's funny.
I like space will just get removed. So like I don't always use it, but if I'm high if I need to delete
James is
something,
appalled.
I know, but if I need to delete something, having to let go of it, hit my backspace key, or move my left hand doesn't make sense. So instead, just highlight this, get rid of it, highlight this, get rid of it, and then save. Oh wait, hold on. I've got an error still because I need something here.
Yeah.
But with minus
So
two,
if you want,
right?
we can also set the
Save.
border as a variable because that might make it a little easier too.
Okay, cool. But like, yeah, see, like it cleans it up for me, so I don't need
Yeah.
to worry about that space in there. It just works. It just works.
Nice.
So I don't know.
I
I've
didn't expect Whittier to take care of that. Nice.
it's a weird little like it'll saves me a fraction of a second, but I don't have to move my hand over to the backspace
Every
key and
little
like
bit
like
helps.
feel for it. So yeah,
And hand health, right?
hand health. Thank you, because not enough
Yeah.
people ask about my hands. People ask how I'm doing, but no one asks about my hands. So thank you, Colby. I appreciate you. Border const border equals 2. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
have to like like backspace here or something, if my hand's already on the keyboard, I hit backspace. But if I'm selecting a big thing, yeah, space is my backspace. I mean, they're both kind of called the same thing. So am I the weird one or
I'm just
uh,
gonna keep shaking my head and nodding.
okay?
Yep.
I assume you agree with
Whatever you
me.
say.
And it's gonna be border times 2, right? Because
Yes. Yep.
cool,
Absolutely.
cool.
So when we
Uh,
look at this, we're not really going to notice much if we want to open this up.
okay, and I do want to open this up. I want to make that very clear. I'm gonna either combine this because like I said, I've got 20 tabs. Give me 1 second for tab manager. Oh, the reason this is
I
a
don't think we're going to
combined
need
is
to go back in the Cloudinary console if you want to just get rid of that.
love it, love it.
Yeah.
I will want to get rid of so much. All right, so we're not gonna see anything though, right? Because it's still that white.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Because
right,
all we're doing at this point is we're overlaying an additional thing on top of that.
and it's the
But
same.
now what we can do is we want to create an effect on top of that overlay. Oh, you didn't set the height. Okay.
You keep going. So and now
Yeah.
we want an effect.
So what we want to do is we want to create an additional object after that object. The way that you can think about it is you're creating an opening tag and a closing tag, which will come back later as we're talking about things. But I think it's probably easier if you throw a return in front of that opening object before overlay there,
Before
just to
overlay.
imagine uh, the object. Put the
Here?
object on a new line. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, got
Put
it.
a
Okay,
return.
got it.
Put a, yeah, yeah. But you
I
can keep
I
that
was
object closed because we're going to
I was
create a
doing this
new.
in my head. That's why I'm
Okay.
like, I don't think that. Okay, got it. I can keep it closed because we're creating a new object in this array.
Yes, yes.
Got it. Huh. And the fact that they're back to back isn't going to throw it off or anything. It's gonna.
No, so what's actually happening is we're applying the effects that will apply to the previous object.
Okay.
That gets more complex that we'll see later because there's more to it than that. But for now, we want to apply effects to that overlay that we just added. So particularly, we first need to add a flag. So add the flags property,
Okay.
and we're going to put layer underscore apply.
Okay.
So that means we're going to apply these to the layer, right?
Got it. Okay.
Um, and then we want to add an effect. So the effect property, and it's going to be colorize.
CE.
And then, sorry, Z, yeah.
Okay.
And then we can add the color property, and then we can set the color.
Okay. So I had that blue that I grabbed. And Mark Boots asked, it'll automatically make it into pixel values. Is that right? Like it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
think talking
accepts it
about
as
this
pixel light.
part. Yeah.
There's more to it that. Oh yeah, the math, yeah, for sure. Like if you're passing in those numbers, there's a little more to it because I think you can provide like decimal for fractions and stuff, and
Okay.
I believe it does it like a ratio. It gets very advanced, right? There's so
Got
many
it.
capabilities built into it that you can do a lot of cool things. Um,
Like
but there it
this?
is, right?
Can I do
So
cool things like
yeah,
this? That's awesome. Cool. So just so I understand it, um, yeah. So like every time we're building images like this, we have to start with a base image. We can't just create one out of thin air, or
right,
we
right,
can't
right.
just like we can't go without this base image and just start building onto nothing. But we're kind of hacking around it by saying, okay, technically we need to start with an image, but here's your pixel, and now we're gonna build everything else from there. It's not like the origin doesn't really matter, right?
Right, because and on top of that, that pixel, like we can use it as a way to transform into colors programmatically, rather than creating, an image with the exact size that we want, an image with the exact color that we want. We can specify all of that by transforming that single pixel right inside of Cloudinary, right?
Cool. Yeah,
It just makes it a
and
lot easier to be able to manage those kind of transformations inside of that API.
got it. And then so we got this transformation where we're taking the overlay. By the way, I'm getting some static background noise.
On me,
Yeah, not sure if something you can control.
I just muted, but sorry, I don't know I don't know what to do.
All good, all good. I just wasn't sure if it's like like I've got like a fan on next to me. I can just turn that off or anything.
No.
All good. It seems to have gone away, but it seems to be better now. All right, cool. And then we get this overlay background, and so that's creating a second version of that file, right? Like we're not stretching out the original.
Right.
We're creating a new layer with that image as the source, making it big,
Exactly.
and then this applies to the previous layer and the effect that it does, because there's a bunch of effects, but this one is just colorized, and we give it that flat color. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And again, like that original BG that we passed in at the top there, that's just basically creating an empty canvas for us, right?
Cool.
And then we added the border just because we wanted to. Now, technically, we could create the border ourselves by doing a bunch of overlays, but it's just a little easier to add that edge border with the border property because it's there, right?
Awesome.
Um,
Cool.
but yeah, okay. So we have our base color. Now we can either start to add more styles to it, or we can start to add people on it. What do you want to do first?
Let's see some faces. I would love to see some faces.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Cool. So now we want to actually add our people to it. And we're going to do a very similar thing to what we just did, where we're going to create an overlay. But this time for that overlay, we're going to pass in a URL, which is going to be pointed to that avatar URL. So
Okay.
that overlay is going to be an object where
Okay.
inside that object, we're going to pass in a property of URL. where we're going to point to that URL.
Okay. And let's
And
grab
that'll
that off
be
then.
the avatar. Yeah.
Yeah. So if memory serves, on data, it's avatar and then URL. So you're getting that static again. I'm wondering if just check in the Discord settings. Like if you right click on, or yeah, if you just check your settings, if you right click on the microphone, make sure your proper
You know
mic is
what?
being used.
Yeah.
Just make
I don't think
sure.
it was. How
Okay,
do I sound now?
you sound deeper at least. Give me a little bit more.
Hey, hey, everybody.
That's definitely better. Yep.
I think
You've
it was using my Mac mic. I apologize about that.
Oh, good. Oh, good. And I think James just said, speaking of static, the fan on my M1 turned on for the first time ever, and it's freaking me out. I didn't know they had fans. I that
All
would
these
freak me
things.
out too. That absolutely freaked me out. All right. Cool. Glad we got that solved. All right. So avatar.url. This should. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Off of data though. Data.avatar.url. That should work. Okay. Anything else here?
So now we also let's define a width and a height for what we want that to be,
Okay.
and that could be really whatever we want, right? This is going to be how big we have it. One thing that I like to do for this particular demo is because we are defining that height, we probably want to have it like set in the middle of that with some padding on the outside, right? So for instance, if we took that card width minus 300, right, it's going to give 150 padding on each side, right?
Okay. And then height.
Uh, and then for the height, that can be whatever because since we're going to be putting data below it, we don't necessarily need to have a fixed height.
Yeah.
So if you want it to be
Hold on one sec,
square,
but the static is
sure,
is definitely
it's
back.
back.
And I honestly I'm wondering if you actually were on the right mic because this isn't sounding better. It's sounding deeper, but I feel like I don't know, chat. What do you think? Is it sounding like your original audio quality sounded better despite that static? And James saying maybe
Really?
yeah, the other mic was better. Yeah. Um,
That's my MacBook Pro mic.
are you really?
Yeah. I don't understand what's going on.
No.
I'm
Right now,
sorry.
you're no. Like, can you tap the mic or something? Like, to
So I just changed it to my MacBook.
sounds great.
Really?
It sounds a good deal better than yeah. Just switched and it's good. Yeah, it's sounding like better.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was the
That way.
webcam. I'm so silly. Okay. Is that better?
That is yeah. So you're definitely talking in the microphone. I think now. All right.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Gosh. I swear the inputs of all these different equipments is just gonna be the end of me.
No, Colby, that's a baby monitor. Colby, the microphone. We hear a lot
It's
of
a mic.
crying. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Cool. Sorry to keep like derailing. I just want to make sure that that we
No,
nailed
three
that.
mics. See, I know it's three mics, but it's like the webcam mic. It's not even like I don't even consider that a real mic, right?
It's so funny. Yeah. It's yeah. It's a little tiny like thing inside a camera. Height. Okay. Height. We're doing the
Sorry,
same.
audience.
Width. Minus 300.
Yeah.
I think just because they're mostly square.
If we want to make
images.
it square, yeah.
Yeah, they're almost all coming in square, so we want to do that.
So
Cool.
just a fun fact, if we wanted to make it if we wanted to make it shorter but still have it like look okay, we could always use a crop so that what will happen is it'll still output that ratio that we want, but it
Got
won't
it.
be like skewed, right?
Yeah, it won't be like
Like
smush, like the faces are long or
yeah,
yeah.
it'll provide a real-time
Let's do it. So
crop.
crop.
Yeah, so so you want to be crop and let's do the fill for it. It's called crop fill.
Okay. Cool.
And then we can set the height to something smaller, whatever you
Oh,
want that to be.
yeah. I was just gonna do it just to like throw it on there, just in case one of them was coming in non-square. But
Oh,
yeah, we can
okay.
make that
Yeah,
work.
whatever you want to do, man.
All good.
We might have to position it first, but let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I'm curious what we have, if we have anything. Inspect. What did I break? What did I do? All right. Let's see. Image 0 by 0. Maybe we need to. No. Can't be found.
Yeah, so that's
Are
not
we
working.
breaking something?
We must be.
Console. All right. 404s. That's not really helpful. Let's look in our here. Template literal. That might be old. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, that must be old. Can you go back to the? Thanks for
Here.
confirming, James. That's
Yeah, it's
embarrassing.
a lot better. No, all good, man. It happens to everybody.
Cool. Yeah.
Audio's tough. You want to check this out? Is that what? Oops.
Yeah. Can I see what we have in the code? The node code. The node code.
The node code. Should we just get rid of this? Just to.
So you know what? The width minus 300
might be.
What is the width set at?
Width is
width minus 500.
It's not negative.
Oh yeah, so that should be okay.
That's a good hunch. Let's get rid of the crop just in case. Overlay has to be an object. Data.avatar URL might not exist. Let's log this. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. The width and the height needs to be outside of the overlay object. Sorry about that. Cool. So the overlay only has that URL property.
Makes sense. Cool. Glad we fixed that. Awesome. So, drum roll. Alex's audio sounded off this whole time. Just didn't want to call in that. That's just how I talk, James. All right, still getting 404s.
Still getting 404. Can I see that code again?
Yep.
Okay. And we definitely know that data.avatar.url is correct, right?
Heck, that's I'm not sure of. That was just kind of winging that one, seeing if that was. So this is happening here. I need to check here. Happening server side. All right, so images, Prismic, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so that's happening. Would any of these, so we're also using like an image CDN. Would any of those throw it off? Let's see.
I mean, it's possible, but I would expect the SDK to like encode it or something.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect.
Pass this in and see if we get a lot of Steph Eccles here. Nope. We're not getting Steph Eccles. This is key stuff. That's fine. No. So what's the issue?
Maybe let's throw an additional layer apply on there with the coordinates. Because that's what I typically do, but I would have expected it to work before we do that. So you can just start a new object after that overlay. Maybe we require that on there, where we're going to do another flags layer apply.
Okay.
And this time it's going to be just how we're positioning it. Now, I personally like to position using the gravity of northwest, where I believe center is typically the default. But if you do the northwest, you're basically thinking of it like typical like Photoshop or Figma, because usually the coordinates are based off of that top left, right?
Right.
And I think, because I'm mirrored in the video, I'm looking at the opposite way. But yeah, but that gives you the coordinates like you would typically expect.
Okay.
So setting the gravity to north_west.
Okay.
And then we can set the X and Y to really whatever we want. Maybe we can do the width.
Divided by 2? Is that how you would do it? X is width divided by 2?
So we would want the border size and we want that padding size. So the padding, how are we determining that padding?
We just subtracted 300. So maybe we turn this into a variable in the sense of like.
For now, let's just put like 20, just so we can see it on the screen.
True. Let's just debug the rest before we start adding more bugs. More bugs.
And just to be clear, like all this math is totally optional. The nice thing about it for setting those with by using #math is just it gives you a way to more easily configure it and like move things around without having to recalculate what each of those different coordinates are going to be. But let's see if it works at this point.
Don't know if it did.
No, still not. What is going on?
But thank you, Zane and Nikolov. They got a Sony A7 III is my camera. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. So we're hard coding this, so that shouldn't be an issue. Let me just make sure this exists. Let me double check that. That should Steph Eccles.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why don't you pass in the overlay as that white, or I'm sorry, the BG. Mine's called white. The BG overlay. So remove the object and just pass it in a string as BG. And then let's add a colorize on top just to see if that works.
Sorry, I'm not.
Do you follow?
Following. So get rid of
so change the overlay to BG like we have above. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So just like this, BG.
And copy the colorized effect with a different color.
Okay. For the flag.
Just to test to see if that's working. Yeah.
Okay.
And really all this is going to do is help us like debug that the base configuration is there, right? Or if
Yep.
there's something else that's wrong. Okay, so that's there. So why isn't the overlay image working?
So we had this. We had an object with URL. Is that correct?
Yeah, that should be correct. That's what I typically use. I wonder if there's any kind of... Do you think there's possibly any kind of weird cores on it or something?
Maybe let's try like any other image. Let's try this Charizard image. Assets
Yeah.
CodePen shouldn't have a cores thing. I mean, Prismic shouldn't have a cores thing. That's like, you know, the entire point of an image CDN. Yeah, it's busted when it's, yeah, I
What
would
is
check
going
this
on?
aspect. An object with URL. Is it source or is there anything else?
So that's what I'm looking at.
Does it
I mean,
need-
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at my
Yeah.
demo code just
Oh, no,
to help walk us through.
That's how
And
we do this, man.
that's exactly what I have.
Mark Boots, width of image is 300 subtract. I don't think it's the width mark just because when we do this, I think it's something in the overlay property because what we just had, that works and that's the right width and everything. And width is
I mean, you
set
can take it
to
out just to test.
864. We can. Yeah, let's do that.
And I think that would just
comment this out.
use the native width and height.
It's true. Yeah, it just busts.
Yeah, it's still not weird. What is going on? You know what?
No.
Take off the first set of overlays. I'm just curious if without that first set.
Without these?
Yeah.
All right. And Austin Gill, good to see you.
Yeah.
How's it going? And James says, I only
Can you
look
send
at
me that
the-
URL?
Which one? This one?
Like the output URL.
Okay. Yep.
I'm just curious if I can debug that really quick.
Yeah.
We can continue though with just doing solid colors just so that we can apply the design like as we're working through this while I kind of do this on the side.
Yeah, I just want to kind of like glance it really quick just to see. There's a big string of characters that doesn't look like it's, I don't know, I've just never seen a
Oh,
big
you know
string.
what?
What?
I don't think the way that you have your remember we ran into the issue before with the fetch API, and what that's currently doing is it's using the fetch API to grab that remote URL. So yeah, so let's change that front end horse cloud name to mine. Use Colby demo. I think that's
up here.
I'm gonna bet that that's the issue.
Where was it? Here.
At the top of get static
here.
props.
Here, right? Colby.
Yeah, remember
demo?
we were playing around before with something? No hyphen, just Colby demo.
Got it. Vaguely. Do you have to change this BG to white now?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, good point.
It's fine. Just checking. I'm gonna bring this back just to see what we've got. Now it's Colby demo.
You didn't change that BG to white again.
I didn't change the BG to white.
The overlay above. The first overlay transformation.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. Still not working. What is going on?
Let's get rid of this part and bring back the width and height parts to see if this, let's just make sure this works at all. No. So this isn't working at all with Colby demo. Let's see front end horse again. White, getting rid of that. BG. Nope, that's still not working. What was the thing that we need an overlay. So overlay BG again. You know, let's go BG URL. Let's do that. And that way I only have to swap it in one spot.
So here's a question for you. All these images are uploaded to Cloudinary, right?
All of these images?
Yeah, all the avatars.
Yes,
I believe I saw them in. Do you want to just swap in like one of their public IDs for now, just so that we can see it working?
That can work. Yeah.
So instead of overlay with that configuration object, we can grab one of their public IDs from your console. And remember, you want to grab the console off screen so you don't show your API key.
Yeah. All right, we can do that. Yeah, so let me just go over there real quick. Cloudinary.com. All right, signing in. And media library. So now I can bring it over. I'm going to go ahead and grab Yeah, is copy good enough? Is that fine?
I believe so.
So I have that. Should I?
Yeah,
Are we instead
Becky.
looking? Huh?
Yeah, Becky commented in there about using the public ID. So yeah, if you use the public ID as that key, that should reference, and you have two overlays there, just so you know.
Good call.
So of course this will be a static image of one person, but at least we can see if this will work.
We still have the red thing there. One sec. Color. Get rid of the colorize filter
Oh,
or effect.
yeah, that'll do it.
And Faroon. Nice. All right.
There we
got
go.
our
There we
friend
go.
Faroon here. All right.
So I'm gonna guess that
Cool.
it still has something to do with that fetch, because I remember we were playing around with something and I wasn't able to use the fetch API. It might just be like a security parameter that you have on there or something. But yeah, we can continue on with this for now, and maybe we can debug that later
right.
if we figure something out.
Give me
Now
one
that
sec.
we have
I
the
just want
image,
to catch up on chat a little bit, just because I've been
Sure,
in
sure.
debug mode. Double dog dare you to show your API key. Becky, thank you for the help. Appreciate it. Great to have you.
Becky's
What's the
amazing.
point of living if you don't feel alive? That's a good point. I'm feeling a little too safe. And Colby works at Cloudinary, so if my account goes to like $500,000 worth of hits, he'll bail me out, right? Like he'll just wave it away. I'm sure. Like this overlay, big glasses, border, solid white crop. My mouse is deciding right now it's gonna stop working. All right, let me see. Grab what Becky's dropped.
That'll be the public ID.
The public ID.
And then if you want to add a border, yeah, border. So see how you have that ID for the overlay? Like it's just kind of showing an example of that's how you pass in the public ID. So,
Okay.
So we were able to confirm that that's working.
Cool. All right, so we can roll with this for now, and we can troubleshoot the other thing later. But right now, let's just make Faroon look awesome. Maybe we don't need 10 of him. Maybe we just need the one. We can just go for that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And that makes more sense. Cool.
Cool.
So let's just drop this to 1FR. My favorite use of grid is the old, just give me one column, please. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we've got Faroon. We've got him there. Let's continue on, my friend.
Cool. All right. So now we can kind of just position it how we want. I'm guessing we don't want to position the image exactly how it is, right? I mean, it looks a little artistic, right? But like what I've done is taken the width, and you know how we're using -300, and that ultimately creates that padding on top, right? So basically, you want to take the full width minus that value, and it's going to give you what's left over, which can be his width, right?
Yeah. So if we maybe go, let's put a padding.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Padding equals 150, or I guess like side padding. Yeah, padding. You don't want to. It's not gonna be padding for everything. So just image
gutter. Is that what gutter is?
Avatar padding, kind of, but
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to be applied to everything. So like like the word padding would be more of a global thing. So minus padding, avatar padding times 2, and then we can just reuse that.
There we go.
Cool.
And now we just want to make sure that we position it in the right place, right? So that's going to be, how are we going to do that? So we're going to take the full width minus that value, right? Divided by 2. And that's going to give that X value.
Are we? So northwest is at the top left or top
0,
right?
0.
Did you say?
Top left. Top
okay.
left.
So if we just do avatar padding, doesn't that give it to us, or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah.
Should...
Was definitely overcomplicating that.
Okay.
There you go.
No, it's great. So yeah, we're kind of not the coolest positioning ever, and maybe we move him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's honestly though,
we're working towards
where is it? Like just as cool. Just as cool in my opinion. Like, yeah, if you throw it on your Charizard, I'm throwing my Varun down. Honestly, that's just what I'm gonna do. Cool. So we are making progress, my friend. This is awesome. What are we
so the question from Mark Boots about the .jpeg. So if you're referencing the overlay .jpeg there, that's particularly if the public ID includes that .jpeg. But generally speaking, for the Cloudinary URL, you don't need the .jpeg at the end. It's going to return that for you. We can also do automatic optimizations or format setting, which we'll talk about later, which can also determine optimized formats, but that's a separate topic. Now let's add some of the cool attributes like his name.
I think that's good. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to create a new pair of the text and the layer apply flags on top of there. So we're going to create a new overlay, kind of like we did before.
Okay.
But this time we're going to create an object as well.
Okay.
But this time we're going to pass in the text property, where that's going to be where we want to put the name of the person.
Got it. So I don't remember what that is. We have to console log and look. We might want to just like start to like const, start to do like pull these things out. So we're not going dot blank, right?
Hey, James.
Take care, James. Good to see you. Gotta go make a smoothie. I respect the
priorities.
I'm enjoying this, but it's smoothie time. So yeah, that's what I like about James. He's got the priorities on lock for sure. Take care, James. All right, what am I doing? Did I break a thing? I broke a thing. Yeah, I did this. Let me undo this. Undo my thing. There we go. I'm gonna pass an object to text. Let's just pass Varun. I'm gonna hard code that for now, but I'm checking my log to see what oh, that's a lot of scrolling. All right, failed to process shape. Yeah, sure. But did I fix it though, right? No? Must apply either style parameters or a public ID when providing text parameter. Okay, so I'm just gonna comment this out.
Oh, there you go. It's there.
Oh, cool.
So I think because we don't have I think the SDK might be throwing an error because we need more stuff on it. But I did see that there was where'd it go? There was an alt.
Right.
There was
it was like your name was there. It was very,
Maybe just comment out, just to get the data.
All right, so it's just name. Looks like data.name is just what it is. I could probably check in Prismic, but laziness. All right, so you got name, description, pronouns. I don't do a great job of filling that out, but I want to get better at it. Twitter username. Let's just do all.
You don't have the copyright info?
I don't have. I think that's a default on the image field, but yeah.
Got it.
So const. Let's just do this. Name. What was it? Avatar. Description. And anything else that we want to grab? Name, description, pronouns, website URL. Let's grab that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Hold on. One sec. So equals data. Cool. So we're just destructuring all that stuff off of data. So it should be a little bit easier now. And we can go ahead and grab name and pop that in there. And we should be able to get Varun's name in this overlay once we get a little bit more. Cool. Nice. Name. Now what?
Nice. So we want to add some additional like styles, kind of like you would in CSS, but to kind of set up what we want the text to be kind of shown as, right? So that's going to include font family. So font underscore, and these are going to go inside of the overlay this time.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry,
No,
I keep forgetting to tell you where to do it. So font underscore family, and I believe it supports like all of the Google fonts, if I'm not mistaken. So like those are fun ones.
Correct. So chat, help us. What's
any fun favorites?
What should we do for this? Like I don't know. It's kind of a standard. Like that's just a sans serif. It's not totally wild or anything. What should we go for here? Let's just type in Charizard and see what would look like, kind of hardcore is that. We don't want rounded. We're looking for like really.
You want to add some filters to that for like display fonts or something?
Spartan's kind of well, display fonts are gonna be gonna be a little bit wilder.
Too much.
What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think that looks good.
Yeah, I kind of like League Spartan. I mean, just the name is pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah,
I like it. All right, font family League Spartan. All right.
Yeah, and then we want to just define some of the other ones. So font underscore size. If we want to do a different font weight, we can do that. Um,
So like
so we can just slap a
18.
number in there for now. Yeah, and we can figure out
Oh wait, I'm
what we want
doing
to do later. Yeah, that should be
cool.
the underscore.
And then was it 500? Yeah, like the 500. Let's go.
I'm
And
not sure if
color?
you have to pass in. Uh, I'm not sure if you have to pass in the string version of the weight, but we can try that. And the color, I can't remember if the color is going to be there or if it's going to be outside, but we can try putting the color in there.
Cool. Let's just go. I'm just gonna phone this one in as FF00FF. Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right. And then we need to place
Magenta,
this. So
right?
an X and a Y.
Yep. So
Or is that in the
we
next
want to
one?
place it using, it's going to be the next one, the
Cool.
layer apply. So that's always going to be where we're going to place it.
Okay.
Now the one thing that we can put in that first object, and it probably doesn't matter as much in this one, but it might for if you have text that you want to drop down and remain at the same font size that you passed in, you always want to make sure that you pass in a crop of fit, because what that's going to do is it's going to keep that font size, but it's going to only fit that container that's defined.
Okay. Interesting. Got it. Do I put it here in like in
Yes.
this object
No,
or the second object?
exactly how you have it. Exactly how
Okay,
you have
cool.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Should
yeah.
try this out.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Did we break it again?
Yay, it broke. All right. So
Let's see. Northwest
let's
exit.
just go Helvetica.
Yeah. Maybe
Or,
it doesn't have all the Google fonts. I know it has
well,
Source
it might
Sans
be
Pro,
like-
which is the one I use.
Got it. Okay, so
There
what's
we
the
go.
font?
There we go.
And it says Colby Fayock. Why? Oh,
Because
yeah.
I was the first person in the.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right. So League. Just wondering if like I need to do that.
Maybe, yeah.
Nope, doesn't like that at all. Underscore. Like I'm wondering what the thing is for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you?
There might be a caveat to the like supporting all Google fonts.
Yeah.
I thought it was all Google fonts though.
Google.
Yeah,
The
Google
plus.
too.
Good call, Adrian. That might be it. That would be like the.
It says that
URL
it
going
supports all
forward.
Google fonts. So
All right. Let's see. All Google fonts not supported.
try %20. I'm
Percent.
seeing that, but the URL, I would imagine the STK would take care of that.
Right.
So
Agreed.
I'd be surprised.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Let me just make sure. Last ditch effort. If I want to, where's like the add this? Like, where's the not download, but where's the like use? Select style. It's all these buttons. So select the style. Yeah, League Spartan. So it's not like I was wondering like, is it maybe called another thing somewhere else?
Is it possible the weight doesn't exist? Maybe define it as the number like you originally had.
Okay. Because I mean, the weight does exist, and that didn't break for Roboto. So like, I don't think lowercase medium is gonna bust it. Yeah, it just doesn't like League Spartan. I'm curious if the number is gonna stay. Yep, it's good with the number. So the number works, but that font does not work. Is it variable? Good question. Is it variable? I mean,
What does that mean?
So yeah, it is a variable font. So it means it can do this.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, buddy.
I haven't seen that.
World of variable fonts is a beautiful one. It is.
Wow.
Yeah, and like this is kind of like table stakes for variable fonts. If we can just divert for a second, V fonts. Let me see. This site
Is that something new?
Yeah, last couple of years, but it's still not like super widely adopted. But like, look at all the things you can change, and like
That's really cool.
dial in the exact look that you want. But like, let me find like a fun one. So pump, like, it's not just the weight, but like, look, like basically the font creators can do whatever the heck they want to.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Where's like a really fun one that's just slant. Right, like you can change everything. Like there's like ones with drip and stuff, or like it's drippier, or it's whatever. Yeah, like you can change the gap in there. Variable fonts are awesome. Anyway, I think Steph is kind of asking if maybe Cloudinary has an
Okay.
issue pulling in variable fonts because variable fonts, like you
Mm.
can't use them in Figma yet. You can use the individual like bits,
Oh,
but you can't use the variable. So like I could download League Spartan and use it in Figma, but only at the 100, the 200, the 3. I can't go to the 150. I can't slide
gotcha.
that in and out. So I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Source
I don't
Sans
know anything
Pro,
about that.
that's a good one. Let's go with Source Sans Pro. I like it.
Yeah.
And let's see if that works. That one does work. So it's not the spacing
Yay.
thing. It's
Yeah,
it's a little bit
that's the
trickier.
font that I like to use for everything.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we put in
So
medium.
that did break it though. Or no,
What?
it's there. Okay.
Yeah, I just needed to.
Oh, I broke it for a second. Yeah.
All good.
Okay, so we probably want to make that a little bigger, right?
Yeah, I think so. Font size, or you think like 28? And Steph, if you're just coming in, you.
Hello, Steph.
Yeah, first off, hi. How dare I skip to you? No, but hello. It's great to have you as always. But we're gonna make you into a super cool trading card. Hope you don't mind. I don't know if you know, Steph, but when you came on the show the first time, you kind of signed away all rights to your person and image, and like I own, the rights to everyone. The same way like the NFL can sell Tom Brady jerseys, I can technically sell Steph Eccles jerseys, trading cards. So just read the fine print next time is all I'm saying. And yeah, just that's just show business. All right. Let's just go 50 and let's just go 50-50 to put it there. I've been lurking. Nice.
So before you go too deep into that,
Okay.
let me know when you're happy with what the text looks like.
I'm never happy.
Or wait, you're gonna put that on top of it?
Probably.
Okay.
I was gonna like
I'll save it for when we put text lower below it.
Okay. I was just like cheaply replicating
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
the like putting it at the top kind of thing. Do I put a color in here? Where do I put the color?
Good question. I think you put the color in the not in.
We thought we put it there, but it's coming out black. So where do we put it? Maybe down
So
here.
try. I would try putting it under the
There.
crop before we try that. Yeah. No.
Doesn't seem to have. Yeah, there we go. Cool.
Oh,
Nice.
there it is. Yeah. Okay.
So we can go white with this.
But that looks horrible.
Nice. All right.
There
Cool.
we
We got
go.
Colby Fayock, and we got to go to like 50 or something because it's got to be nice. All right. Cool.
Front end horse trading card game. I am into that.
Let's do it. If The Witcher has Gwent, we're gonna have our whole thing. So yeah, we're gonna make it happen. I love it. It'd be so much. It'd be so fun. Just like having all the guests and they each have their own like skills, and it'd be a lot of fun. All right.
I have skills.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, cool. I'm just doing this side by side, so I don't have to keep tabbing back and forth. That's a lot better.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. So, yeah, that's good enough for now. We can like fine tune it later. What do we want to do
Yeah,
next?
sounds good. So let's add some text below it, because after we add text below it, I want to show you something else that's cool.
All right.
So before you do, let's move that name above the avatar image because of what we're going to do after that. So
got
just
it.
in
So
the
in the
array.
code.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So at the top, or no?
Just
above this.
anywhere above the avatar.
Got it. Yeah, because this is our background, and then this is our text. So I'm just gonna like see if I can just do name, right? Background. Just give quick little comments, because this can start to, like, as you saw my string, it just starts to just like chain and get big. So
For sure.
background.
Yeah, I mean it's it definitely becomes like a long list of configurations, but I think that's kind of the reality of the complexity that you're doing, right?
Yep.
By being able to like modify and piece together all these different pieces, you need some kind of mechanism to be able to do that.
Yeah. So now what are we working on now?
So yeah, let's add another text, and then I'm going to show you something cool after that. So honestly, you can copy and paste what you had before, and we can just work from there.
Cool.
We just change the positioning.
I love that. All right, positioning. We want it further down, so
Yeah. So let's put this underneath the picture.
so it can be like 400-ish. Let's just put another.
That sounds good. You can just make up the
thing.
value for now, because then we'll do something cool.
Cool. I did that, but I didn't see a change. It's not.
So you're gonna have to refresh. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what the details, but because of how the static props are obtained, it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't
Upload every
automatically
time. Yeah,
refresh in the
that's interesting.
Next.js refresh. Um, but yeah, okay. So let's put that below the avatar. Um, so what is that? Another just 800? You put 800 maybe for now.
600?
That's fine. Yeah.
I don't know. And I love that idea, Adrian. Yeah, if we had a little more time, we could like query based on like the episodes all have you were right, it was 800.
Yeah.
The episodes all have like tags now, so like CSS or Cloudinary for this one, right? Like there's or like APIs, so we could like use that data and add it to the card. Absolutely. Cool. So you got that there.
Yeah, so how about we add the person's description?
Yeah. So
Does that sound good?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's just description, right? Yep. Cool. This is that second one. Font size maybe 40. See that? And doesn't like that. Don't like it. Resource type layer parameter. Text description. Okay, so description is description more complicated than
That makes me think the description is not getting pulled in.
But why? Description might not exist for everyone. So description.
I thought it did for me though. Aren't you only
True.
doing? Oh no, you're only
only
adding
showing
me in the
you,
UI.
but they all are
Yeah.
existing. Yeah. So let's see.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. No. Still doesn't like it. Text, font size. That's all I changed. 50.
If it's showing the public ID, that's I'm guessing that that's still an issue with that. Like try changing that. Yeah.
If I can type, there we go. Description. Hey.
So what's the difference
Okay.
between doing that and what's the difference between doing the, that's nullish, right?
Yeah, I just learned this recently. Thanks to that JavaScript survey where it's like everyone loves this thing, and I'm like, I've never seen that. So that allows this to be like 0 and not go. So in other words, this is only gonna fire if this is like null or undefined, is my understanding. Where if instead it is something that's falsy, like 0, right? So like if I'm expecting that to be a number or even just the value of false, I think, I don't know, we should probably just check it out because I might be
I get where
giving
you're
bad
going.
information.
Yeah.
Nullish coalescing operator. Here we go. So oh, whoa, is this new? Yo, I haven't seen this yet.
Oh yeah, they MDN released a new. I saw it on mobile. I haven't seen it on my desktop yet, but yeah, they released a new design.
Awesome! I can't wait to learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's null, go there. But if it's 0, we're still going to get 0. False
Got
might
it.
be. Yeah, nullish. So yeah, cool. So it's just
That makes
handy.
sense. Cool. So one thing here that we're seeing. Oh yeah. Okay.
No, it's all good. So yeah, we're seeing.
So one thing we're seeing here is the like cutoff, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I told you to add before was that crop fit, which is supposed to drop it down. Now, what we don't have is we don't have a width on here. So let's try adding a width, and we can just use the avatar width for that.
Okay. Oh wait, sorry. Width. Yeah.
Yeah, the width. Or I think you just have it as width, right?
I thought I had an avatar width. Oh, I have avatar padding. That's my fault. I do have an avatar padding. Where'd the rest of that? Here we go. Avatar padding. Got it. So,
so just width.
Width minus.
So that shouldn't matter too much.
Must apply public ID for resource type layer parameter.
Must still be an issue with the.
Should we just supply our public ID? Will that solve a lot of our
No,
problems?
so that's still an issue with the description. I don't know why, but the overlay text field above.
Right. Gonna see. Yeah, but why? It was fine a second ago.
I think it's because you put in a manual value, didn't you?
Yeah, you're right. Weird. Okay.
So I guess it can't be an empty string.
Huh. Interesting.
It
Got it.
must need to have some kind of value.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's try putting that width now.
Can we? Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Uh, we do have a width. No. Okay. Now we do. There we go. Got it. All right.
So see
So
how, because you define that width, instead of stretching out and using that crop of fit, what it's going to do, it's going to contain itself, kind of like you would imagine code, right? Where you have a div that's 400 pixels or whatever you're doing,
right.
and you're saying that you want it to drop down instead. So that gives you that kind of dynamic nature of how that's going to flow inside of that rendered image.
Yeah. That's really nice. Just not having to worry about all of that. That's great.
Hmm.
If we drop this down to 40 now, take this to medium, that might be a little bit better in terms of just like not having the same importance as the rest. Tough to read right now, but we can work on that, chat. Space wouldn't be a difference for the positioning R show up in image.
Space wouldn't be a difference.
Not sure what you mean, Mark. Sorry, buddy. Are you saying that the debugging thing, like changing the way that changing that property shouldn't have broken it? Space instead of F, I mean. Oh, like if I do a space, that should work. Is what you're saying? That makes sense, and you're right. Well done.
Nice.
Awesome. Good call.
Cool.
Thank you for yeah. Thanks. All right, nice. So we got that. Do we want to add anything else? Yeah. So we definitely want to do some more. What about the Twitter?
So
username?
before we do,
Okay,
I want to show you something cool.
Yeah.
So there's a concept of nesting where what we're going to do is we're going to nest this text inside of our avatar image. And it's not really going to be something that you notice visually, but what it's going to allow us to do is have a dynamic way to define the positioning of our text in relation to that parent object. So the way that we can do that, I was kind of alluding to this before. If we look at this overlay object configuration here and we look at the flags configuration. So if you remember, for every single thing that we've added, we have the overlay object and we have the flags object, right?
Okay.
You can think of those kind of like opening tags and closing tags.
Got it.
Or like in React, right? You have your parent tag with the opening and closing, then you have your nested child with the opening and closing. So we're going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to tell you to add an indentation to make sure it's a little bit more visually clear. But let's take those two objects that we just added for the senior, for the description text, and let's add that in between those two avatar objects. So yeah, add a couple spaces there, put it in between, and I would recommend adding some indentation to
Prettier's gonna
just
wipe
to
it out in a
visually.
second.
Okay, well, at least until we explain it. Or yeah, just some kind of because what that's going to do is allow that to be nested inside. And at that point, we can take advantage of some variables that are actually by default in that API to automatically position that.
Got it.
So
The positioning
now,
changed.
yes, and that's because it's it's relative to that parent. So what you can do, which I think is really cool, is inside of, where are we?
So this is the
Okay,
child
so that's
here.
it. So first of all, change the y to a string of h, just
Okay.
h, and you could probably just get rid of the x, or just comment it out for now, so we can change that later.
Okay.
But now refresh the page.
Wow.
And what we did is we took the height. That h is standing for that height of that parent, so that it's automatically flowing. So you can also add arithmetic in there. So if you add a plus 20 after that, so h plus 20, right, inside the string.
Inside the string, got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it would have been the same as, no, it would have been h20. Yeah.
Oh, I guess from a technical JavaScript standpoint, I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah, it's all good.
ultimately we need that string that we're passing in there, I think.
Broke it.
Try putting spaces around the plus sign.
Cool.
That might be what's.
There we go. By the way,
we can
that
see we're
just
able to
hot reloaded there. I don't know why. Like sometimes.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I didn't hit refresh. It's
I wonder
weird.
if it was like if there was an error before or something.
Right. I think that's what it is. All right.
I'm not sure.
we've got that.
But that's cool, right? Like we're doing that in relation to the parent. So
That's really
now
nice.
what I like about this is let's scroll back up to the avatar opening tag. So just like even if it's just to test it out, put some parens, uh, change the height so that we're taking away some of the height. Like we want make it shorter. This is ultimately
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
Okay, refresh. And it follows it, right?
And we didn't change the crop. That's why it looks smushed. If we put
Yeah.
crop of fill, it wouldn't be
Cool.
so much. But now, because we're in relation to that, because of that nesting, we can have our document flow so that if we want to change the avatar size, and what we'll do is continue nesting the text below that for the rest of the things. That way, all that text is going to flow together, even with that dropping down text that we see there. So now
Oh,
we can
okay.
start doing that. Now we can start doing
Oh,
that.
nice.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait,
yeah,
so
and
wait, is it
underneath,
gonna nest and nest and nest and nest and nest? Like, are
so
we
we're
gonna?
going to
Yeah.
keep, so we're not going to nest more. Technically, you can do that if you want to.
I don't want
But
to.
we don't
That
need to
sounds
do that. Yeah.
okay. Good. So I can just
I
stay
mean, there's
inside
other
these
use
brackets.
cases.
Okay, cool. But it's still
Yeah.
going to. It's
Yeah,
so.
as long as you stay within those closing tags. So what that's going to do, the H now is going to be relative to the previous one.
Yo,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
nice, right?
really nice. Yeah, like the last
Yeah.
bit was nice, but now this is super powerful. And I love that you have a very long and important title, so that so that we can show the overlay. That's awesome. No,
But
because
like
because otherwise it's not.
speaking of that, like change not this description, but go on up and just put a short word instead of the description just
Yeah.
to show that, right?
Text.
Like change that to just I don't know, Alex.
Um, space
Remember, it can't
guy.
be an empty string. Yeah, space guy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's
But again,
really handy.
because we're being relative, it's able to do that.
Yeah, that's wildly handy. I did not. Yeah, like I've I built out the whole thing. I didn't know a lot of these tricks. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Yeah.
This is
Now,
awesome.
speaking of the nesting, the demo that I created where I did this, what I was able to do is I was able to create, you know how like so you see some headers that have a line at the end that goes to the edge of the page. I did that where I was able to do it dynamically because I was able to use those relative values. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like in a web page, like you have a header, say like posts, and then there's just a line that goes to the edge of the
Yeah,
container.
yeah,
Just visual, right? That
yeah.
way you can still do those things relative to the dynamic values that you're adding inside.
That's really cool. Yeah, this is super powerful, and this is a lot easier than the way that I was doing it with just like adding strings together. This is
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot handier. I'm glad we're doing it this way. So here, this is the second one. So we can do Twitter username maybe. But let's actually do this so that it's yeah. So one thing I'm wondering is that if that first one is missing, right? So if we have this, is there a way to programmatically build these out? Okay, I think that just
I'm not
doesn't
sure
show
what.
up, right? So I'm saying like right now I might not have a Twitter username for everyone. I think I do. No, actually I definitely don't. What one person that's been a guest doesn't have a Twitter. So is there going to
Yeah.
be a gap on my card for that person? Is kind of what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, that's a
Where
great question. And I
yeah
guess with the nesting that becomes even trickier, right?
yeah. So I mean I'm guessing what we can do. So bear with me, right? It just as a pattern. Um, Twitter. Can we do like Twitter const? I'm just gonna do this for lack of like I can't think of a good name. That and then spread that here.
So
Some
won't
kind of
that
pattern like
still
that.
so that'll do the same thing at that point, right?
Sure, but here at least we can do like Twitter username, right? So like if they have one, do that. Otherwise, just pass an empty array,
Oh, true.
right?
That might work.
And then
Good
that should
point.
be fine
Yeah.
because then it's just going to spread. No, I'm honestly not
Hmm.
sure. Like what does an empty array spread? I don't know. But at least and then we kind of can like
Point, yeah.
move things around and reason about them a little bit easier because they're broken out into their own things. I don't know.
Yeah. Alternatively, what you could do is create an array called like attributes, where you can programmatically push to that
onto
array of
That makes a
attributes
lot
if you
more
wanted
sense.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you build the socials as a string before entering? Yeah.
Build the socials as a string.
Yeah, before putting them into your thing. Yeah, you can definitely like have well, I mean,
Not
just
following.
because the socials have to be like in this object. But yeah, I guess yeah, I think your push mechanic there makes a lot more sense, Colby. Like just checking if Twitter username, build this object, and then push onto that array might make more sense. But for the sake of like not refactoring in the middle of just building it out for the first time, I'm going to just undo. But I think that might be a good way to handle if we don't have
Doing
certain objects
programmatically.
Here, and we don't want to do that. So it's a multi-line. Yeah. I think you definitely can do multi-line stuff, right, Colby? Is that correct? Like if I
So my title there is multi-line, right? That's what we're referring to. Maybe add a little bit more padding, just so that's more clearly separate. Or you can change the font or something.
Got it.
What did you just do?
So I just did like an actual
Oh,
multi-line of like like I did like a
got it.
That's multi-line.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that would work.
Yeah. So it takes template literals and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, you're able to.
So
yeah, it's
I
just
might be
taking-
wrong. I wonder what that does programmatically. I wonder if that changes it to like a /n or something.
Open image in new tab. Yeah,
Like I'm curious of what it's actually doing.
Guessing that's what it's doing. But here we go. Let's see. Sally. Oh, I'm shouting it. Yeah. So
Percent
set
0A. So that must be a return.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting. Cool.
Good question.
I
Well,
didn't know you could do that.
yeah. All right, nice. So, I'm going to close out of this. There we go. So we got rid of Tim, John, Sally, and we're back to Colby Fayock. So here we can do, because like what I was kind of thinking of was the fact that we have to do this, right? But we want to check for it if it exists.
You'll have to change that to a ternary then,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, because that's definitely going to exist. But I think we're just going to go with this for now. And
Cool, okay.
just do like an undefined, or just do like a null or something in there. If it's not there, and we're just not gonna worry about it right now because it's my one friend Tom, and Tom, you're just gonna have to deal with it right now, buddy. Either that or get on Twitter real quick because we're not making turnovers just for you.
Come on, Tom.
Cool. So we've got that. What else do we want to do? I love the fact that we can just do the relative spacing. That's super handy.
Yeah. That blew my mind when the first time I tried to. The first time I figured that out. But yeah, do we have any other data or otherwise? Like I think at this point we're kind of we could probably tweak the design to make it look a little nicer. But I'm excited to do that. I'm honestly excited to do the holographic part.
Yeah, let's do that. As well as I would love to. Is there a way that we can get the avatars working so that you are not?
Oh, right. Can you do me a favor and send me the URL that's generating? Here, do this. Change it back to the avatar URL whenever you have a second, and send me that so that I can try to see if I can. I'm curious if it would work with my account because I have a feeling the issue is the fetch.
Got
with
it.
your account.
Okay, let me one sec. Website. Otherwise, space. The old trick Mark taught us. Add the space and it works. Website's not defined. Website URL. What's it called? Website URL. My fault. My bad. Paste. Cool. Object to object. My favorite website. Where is it? Website URL. Cool. All right. Website URL dot URL. All right. Let's see one more time. And nice website, Colby Fayock. Sweet. All right. You were asking for something. I apologize for not giving it to you. What was it?
No worries. So let's try to add back in that URL, the avatar URL. And if you wouldn't mind sending me an example, I can try to see if maybe I can try to get my my cloud name working in there.
Okay.
My guess is still that that's the issue.
Gotcha. So console log, avatar. Let's do that. Actually, I think we get one right here, if this works.
I'm sorry, if you wouldn't mind passing me the Cloudinary URL that's generated from all
Got it,
that.
got it, got it. Thank you for
Yeah.
the clarification. Appreciate it. So let's see it break. There we go. Inspect. Body. Where is it? There. Next build watcher. We're going deep. In the shadow root. Container. Whew. Container. Icon wrapper? No. Where is
That doesn't
this?
seem right. I think that's that little icon that shows up for Next.js.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Is it not even showing anything?
So div ID container. Name error, website's not defined. That's old. So I'm just gonna save again, refresh. Having trouble finding it. So
Are you sure it's not above where you're looking? Inside
it
the
might be. Class name. Hey. There we go.
Hey.
All right. Cool. I'll send this over to you. You can debug.
In the meantime, you can go change
essentially.
some font colors.
Would it help if I put my public ID in? It seems like that seems to be the issue, is I don't have my public ID on this. Is that not the case?
So the public ID. So if you were able to utilize your public ID of all of those avatars, that should work.
Okay.
Is that what you're referring to?
Kind of. So here's how I'm doing it. Here's how I'm doing it over in my site. So all YouTube thumbnails, generate YouTube thumbnail. It's a mess here, but the little hack I'm doing is for each thing, I'm uploading it and then getting an image back. So like, yeah, I'm sending the remote media URL, which is this, and
Yeah.
as well as the path of the URL. Oh, right, because I've already set this up over on Cloudinary. So let's actually try this and see if we can make this work. I think we should be able to. I'm going to copy this over if you don't mind. This might be a little hacky or something, but basically I'm uploading these to Cloudinary as they come in. If they already exist, it doesn't need to go upload it, so it just will reference it. But yeah, so I can explain this bit of code. It's a little hacky, sure, but it works and it's fun. We all have fun.
So much
fun. So basically, the URL path is the end of it, and I believe like for the avatar, if I can find an avatar, I think I have one in my clipboard. One sec. For this, paste. Images Prismic, yeah. So for this, it's gonna take like this fourth part. So it's gonna get the Henry V part. It's gonna grab that. Let me just put that here so we can like look at that. It's gonna snip that part off of it, and then because I've already set this up in Cloudinary to know where to go when I pass it a URL like this, it's gonna go to my Prismic repository, grab that. Upload it to Cloudinary, and then use it in my transformation. So let's give this a shot.
Got it.
Axios.get.
Do we even need Axios in there?
This is what makes that upload happen if it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. I thought you already had that for each of the images already in there.
Do. Okay, yeah, I do. So we're not going to need it here. But normally I wouldn't. Like if I add someone right now, they're not going to be over on Cloudinary yet.
Got it.
Could it be Chorus causing the issue? It might. Yo, Will.
Yo, what's up, Will?
See you. And you might be coming up on this little trading card thing. I saw your name in here. So we're making a trading card for everyone who comes on the show. So we're working on it. We're getting there. So this should be let's see, avatar URL, or yeah. So const avatar URL. Let's do that. And this might work, y'all. This might work. So guest image split, but guest image isn't a thing. So we need avatar.url.split. I think because guest image is something over there. So I know this is all kind
I
of
would
like just
console log
paste
that
this in.
out while we're doing it too.
Yeah, let's console log this, probably the avatar URL, and then use this instead of that hard-coded one that we had. Where did that go? Did we
I think you
swap it out?
changed it, right?
Yeah, we swapped it out for this.
Yeah.
Avatar URL.
URL,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Oh,
let's
I'm
see if
sorry. And so if you're using a URL, you're grabbing the public ID at this point, right? So now you're going to want to pass that in as the overlay prop or value, not the object. Because what that URL is going to do is allow you to pass in that remote value. So now that you're passing that as a public ID, that's where you want to, because your public ID is that remote URL, right?
Got it. Yeah, so I can just use guest image location then. I don't need to do
If that's the public ID, yeah.
It should be. So let's try it. Avatar URL. Instead, we're going to use a string, right? This?
Yeah.
Oh, nope.
Well, yeah. As long as that works and it doesn't look like it worked.
Baby, we're back.
Yay!
We got it.
Amazing. Yay.
We can do it. All right. So to refresh or to kind of go back through now that it's working, basically, what happens is, normally in my code, I fire off kind of a useless get that, look, I don't even do anything with, right? Like I'm not even catching the data. I just need to fire the get to tell Cloudinary, hey, I've got this image that I want you to go get, and I can potentially show you my Cloudinary setup for that. So Cloudinary, I've got it in the settings, documentation, login. It's a nice little hack if you need to programmatically get files over to Cloudinary that don't exist in Cloudinary, because I want my Prismic files over in Cloudinary so I can upload those images in one spot and not worry about them. So let me just pull this up. Upload. Yeah, so I'm going to just... Yeah, here we go. Auto upload mapping. In my settings, I'm pasting this over. Sorry, I'm just being very secretive about this because I want to blow my own stuff up. Over in my Cloudinary settings, there is an account tab, an upload tab, a security tab, users tab. In the upload tab, you can say, hey, this URL prefix is where I want you to go fetch stuff from. And so once I say, hey, I'm going to hit this URL and say upload, and I can pass it the string at the end, and it's going to say, okay, so I'm going to go tack that string on the end of this, right? So upload sample JPEG, and it's going to go to my Prismic repository, grab that image, and bring it into Cloudinary. And now I can reference it inside Cloudinary because all of this is being built in the same Cloudinary repository. Chat, let me know if that's clear at all. I know it's kind of hacky and convoluted, but it's the way that I did it. And that get just makes sure that Cloudinary is going to give it back to me if it exists, but if not, it's going to go upload it first and then return it. I don't really need it. I just need to make sure that it's on Cloudinary because I'm referencing it in my builder in a second. So that's all that part is. But yeah, we got it. And Daniel, good to see you. How's it going? All right, so we are rocking now, man. This is great. So we got our guest image location. We don't even need this.
Let's let all the cards out.
Let's let them out. Oh yeah, we've got more. We've got lots. Let's change our thing back to that. Let's go to like 20 maybe. And
ooh, you're pushing it.
I am pushing everything. And let me see what we've got here. All right, we're building. We got...
Look at these beautiful cards.
Love it. Love it. Very cool.
So good.
Look at this.
I think this like helps illustrate, like before even though we were using dynamic data, like it still was one static image, right? But the fact that like now we can visualize that you're pulling this dynamically from Prismic, right?
Yeah.
So you're grabbing that data and we're able to dynamically construct these images.
Yeah, this is super cool. Let's actually make let's go one more on the... Let's do a repeat here. Yep, repeat, autofit, sure. No, I just want to do repeat. Let's go like 5, 1FR. Let's just do that.
I literally just always use that single line layout. It's a beautiful thing.
Got it. Yeah, nice. We got some cards. Chris is getting a little squashed. We might need to do a crop on him, or just
Yep.
on everyone because the avatar is not getting cropped. It's just getting
Yep.
squashed.
So you should just need to add that crop of fill, and that should take care of that.
Okay, is that
And
in
what that's
here?
going to do,
Is that right here?
yeah, yep. So what that's going to do, and you kind of can think of it like CSS, right? What's that property? Is it the background where it fills that space
Object
based on
fit.
the width and yeah. See, and now like it's going to set that container, and you're able to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring us back to like just a couple so that we're not like because for every transform that's counting against my Cloudinary per like cost or whatever,
How
right?
else am I going to make money off of you?
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm trying not to trying to put your kid through college, Colby. Um, but yeah, so we have to do a few at a time. And it'll be a little bit quicker. But so we're seeing this. What else can we kind of work in here? I'm kind of could also use object fit contain. Those crops are better for users though. Yeah. So well, and then for this, it's like we just got to use the API. But yeah, when it comes to CSS, you can do lots. No border radius corners. I like that idea. Can we do that, Colby?
Yeah, on the cards themselves.
I
Is that what
think
you mean?
actually good call. I think both maybe. So can we do? Yeah. So let's go. Let's do a border radius on the card, but also on the people because squares. Yeah, just not as fun maybe.
So it's going to be the radius property. Um, that's what's going to define that. So I believe you should be able to put that right along where you would put like the border or the width. So when you're defining like that width and the height, and you're doing that in that first object, the
Right.
quote unquote opening tag, that's where you can also define the border radius
Okay.
as the radius property or the border as well.
Okay. I don't have a good sense of when to put something in the first object versus the second object.
I don't have any like general guidance, but the way that I try to think of it is the layer apply, that closing tag is going to be more of like the transformations of it, where if you're setting a width and height, that's more of like a basic
Okay.
capability, right? That's not necessarily transforming it. I mean, it kind of is, but I don't know. I wish I had better guidance, and
Oh, good.
maybe somebody who's watching this will give me better guidance that I can let you know in the future. But
Chat, help us
yeah,
out.
for now,
All right, let's see if that did a thing. Kind of, but our border can we also change the border? Like I don't know if you can see, but that's not gonna help. Let's actually just go back to 2 or so.
is it doing it?
Yes, but it's not making much of a like you can't really tell. Because see how it's like it's just it's happening inside the border is the issue. The border's
Oh,
still
okay.
straight.
So put that radius up above the top level radius
That
or
makes
border.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we want that there, and we also want this on the avatar. So avatar, crop fill. So glad we got the image thing working. I'm glad my little trick came in handy. 16. Let's do that. Let's radius the heck out of the avatars. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, we're getting better border there. So let's actually make
Yeah.
that bigger. Let's go like 20 on that. Or 210, something like that. I
And
love
just as a
Austin's
fun fact,
idea.
you can always. Oh,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, just as a fun fact, you can put the string of max, which if you're trying to do like a circle, it's a good way to do that.
String of max. Oh, got it. Cool.
Yeah.
For circles. You know what? I think like this isn't looking like incredible in terms of design yet, but I do want to make sure we have some fun with what we had intended. So let's see if
I'm
we can
looking forward to these hollows.
steal a little bit of CS. So huge shout out to Simon Gallner. This is not my CSS or anything. We're just gonna use this at the end to kind of slam our cards into this and make them instantly epic is kind of the idea. So let's just see what we've got. We've got this. Okay, so that's the demo at the bottom. We don't need that. Looks like we need a section of class cards. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna try to like copy it as close as we can.
So you should be able to just. You could probably just add that class to that existing container, right?
Yeah. So let's look at like I'm not gonna be able to digest all of this right now. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for the quickest like copy pasta that I can do. Let's just bring that into globals. Oh, Pokemon card styles. Let's see if we can hack our way towards something decent. HTML body. Yeah, I'll just leave this. We'll see if it breaks horribly. What just happened? It broke horribly. Because they're using SAS, SCSS. Yeah. And we have CSS. So we need to install SAS.
It's easy to add if you want. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love how easy it is to add. It's just drop in simple, right? Like that's
amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really good. All right, so now I need to change this to SCSS, and then in app change this to SCSS, and we should be good. That should be it. That's kind of it. So now let's see.
So.
Oh, there we go. Nice. So we're not seeing anything yet. We don't expect to because none of these things have the fancy classes on it. But to go back to Austin's ideas, I think that's possible, right? Cloudinary has good like face recognition things.
Yep.
Could
absolutely.
you do this kind of stuff? Like put a thing on someone's eye specifically?
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite demos is back when I worked for when I actually received a Cloudinary demo before I worked for Cloudinary. What they did is they took all the product images on the page and they put a Darth Vader mask on everybody's head.
That's cool.
I'll always remember that. It was amazing.
So cool. So Mark has a good. So I think Mark, you're saying this. Oh wait. Oh right. So they are actually doing the URLs through this. So let's see, background image, sparkles. That's not it. I think they're actually putting, the URLs are all in CSS variables. So let's go. Charizard front is now Colby Fayock. Let's see how that's working. Nice, dude. It's so good.
That's pretty cool.
So good. Okay. So we're just have to structure it slightly differently. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is hilarious. Look at you.
I love it. It's so good.
All right. So we're going to have to change it a little bit from how it works in the CSS, right? So
right.
We're not going to want to do it this way. But let's see, where does Charizard front come into play in those globals? So, okay, so the next one, where does it come in? Front, Charizard front. So now we're looking for front. We're looking for where that comes in. Like, where does that affect the actual styles? Background image. Okay. So all we have to do now, it's actually pretty easy.
What's that selector?
What?
What's that selector that it's applying to? Because was that a before element or was that the main element? Yeah, that was the main element. Okay.
So what we can do, we can just do key is card, class name is card, and then style is, we're going to do an object, quotes, front, and then pass the card. And we don't need this. I think this would work. I think this works. We'll see. I might need to set a higher, like I think we need a container for it. Nope. Whoop. So we're getting there. We're getting the card. The card thing works. The front thing does not. Why not? Let me see if inspecting it. Shiny Colby, great start. It's a solid starter Pokemon. All right, card front. All right, so that's working.
Were you saying that it needs to be on a higher?
It might need
selector.
We might need to like match the HTML of this a bit better. Card. So it's class card animated maybe. Does it need a Charizard? Oh, let's just throw a Charizard class on it too. So let's see if that works. You're going to be a Charizard, my friend. Let's see if it needs special styles for that sort of thing. But also it might need to be inside a section called cards, like we were talking about. So styles container instead we'll do. Wait, it's cards. Okay, so.
I think you still want that container though for the grid. Oh, there was a grid on that one. Okay.
Yeah, they already have their own thing. What is missing, y'all? What is missing? Inspect cards. So div, we have the before and the after. Those are working well, they're working pretty good. We're not getting all of it. What am I missing? Card animated. It should have a
Can you
complete
find where that is being set? That
background
variable?
image. Background image none. Var front. Huh.
On card.
But it's getting a front.
Can you set the style like that inside of the tag?
Yeah, you definitely.
Okay, I just haven't done that
Yeah,
before.
no, it's a good question. Front, it's not Charizard front. Yeah, so let's remove the Charizard bit, or let's just see. Oh no, I'm in the wrong one. Let's Charizard front card.charizard. Is that more specific? Is that why? But no, that was at the top. This should work fine. Let's drop it into our CSS and see if that's working. Give me this string. All right, front is this string. And I'll remove it from here. This should be working.
Alternatively, you might be able to just set the background image in that style
use
block.
variable. Oh, wait. Hold on. How are they doing it? I think you might be. I always forget this part. URL. Got it. All right. So we need to pass. No. Okay. Go forward. There we go. Undo. So this should be URL $. Oh, close parentheses. Crossing fingers here.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, so good. Only thing is, it's not animating. It's the mouse over effect because we're not using JavaScript. I think they're using some JavaScript to make that happen. Shoot, we're not gonna be able to add that in quickly because of React. Let's bring this over and just see what it does real quick. Are they? Oh, and they're using.
You can probably add
jQuery.
that quick in a document file, right? The custom document file.
They're using jQuery.
Got it.
I mean, yes, but it's kind of complicated. So for now, we might just want to, I don't know, we could install jQuery and do it. But yeah, it's a little bit more complex than I had anticipated just for the hover effect.
I think it's pretty awesome how it is, though.
CSS, honestly, but it's really fun. That is super fun.
It's awesome.
Right, let's see. Let's add last thing. Slice map card. Let's grab the index off of it. So key is. So basically, I want it so that every third one we get a different. So it's either Charizard, Pikachu, Eevee, or Mewtwo, because that's like they have slightly different styles based here, right? Like they have slightly different ones. So let's go Charizard, Pika, Eevee, Mewtwo. If you can just indulge me for one more minute.
Yeah, no worries. In the meantime, Mark Boots, do you mean so that it gets like cut off, like so that you get like an ellipses, or so that it just stretches, or I mean like shrinks? Is that what you mean? Oh, the URL text. I think I was talking about something completely different.
Is there a way to not line break the URL text? I got it. So I think they're talking about how the website's HTTPS and breaking on for both yours and for Will's.
Good question. I'll see if there's what the options are.
Card Mewtwo. Yeah, we're good there. I need to just make it so that where are we? We're here. So class name object, doing that. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Cool, we're good there. That, closing brackets, and then $. And so we're gonna go Pokemon. And then this is going to be I modulo 4 math.floor. That should work. I think 4 is the right one to do. Yeah, so Will gets a green, you get like a reddish. That one's slightly different. Yeah, like that one has a diagonal stripe there. This one doesn't as much. This one's purple because it's the Mewtwo, and then back to Charizard. Nice. These are fancy. So let's bring them all in now. All right,
Awesome.
last thing. Let's just go, I don't know, 25. I don't know. Let's do
Remove
it.
the slice.
Oh, right. And we need to turn this into like a grid. So
I mean, that looked pretty cool though.
that looks super cool. Cards. Where's cards? There we go. Display, grid, and then grid, template, columns. Cool. Let's see what that does for us. Oh, that's even cooler that they're like over.
Yeah, nice
I like that a
little
lot. That's fun.
You can make it so
Y'all.
it'll pop up when you hover.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's awesome.
We did it. I mean, the background has a little bit to be desired. The text needs a little bit of work, but for what
I think it's beautiful.
Yes, I agree. That's what I'm trying to say. It's that it's perfect and gorgeous, and I kind of like the little bit of overlap. It's kind of fun. Feels like they're actual cards, right?
Yeah.
Colby, this is really cool. Thank you so much. And I can see like we could definitely do so much more where we can like change the background color or based on tags that we have, associated with our episodes, we could put certain things in the background, like how like they have like leaf types and fire types. We can have like CSS types and JavaScript types and have colors and everything. It's a really cool little project. And just a really creative way to use a crazy powerful API. So, man, thank you so much for showing this to us. You have a blog post that kind of covers similar things, right? Do you want to drop that?
I do. Sure. And what it is let me find the Twitch chat. There it is. I did something similar, but I created Mario cards as the demo, where it's kind of like you have your Mario supporters and your Bowser supporters. You probably open up the code sandbox if you wanted to see the,
cool.
or actually, yeah, at the top. Sorry. So on the bottom right of that, you can open up sandbox. That way you can get the full view.
Wait, am I doing the wrong thing?
No, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm looking at the Twitch screen, so it's delayed.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, once that initializes, it's basically doing a very similar thing to what we did. It's just a little bit more of a complete example. And if you notice in the code, like as that's loading, if you scroll down, you'll see that we're doing that same nesting. And one of the things I was mentioning to you before was how you can, with that relative with those relative values, I created like little lines for the header. So like if you get down far enough I think it should be like headline, you'll see it past the avatar. I guess maybe I didn't. Maybe just the word line. Okay, see right around there. So see how it just literally says line. But that's nested in one of those text nodes so that I can try to like use those relative values to first of all like center it in the middle of the headline and try to anchor it to the side. And that's taken forever to initialize. Let me see if
okay, there we go.
I have that deployed. Oh, it's there. Okay.
Yep,
yeah.
We were good.
And it just gives you where like I have those dynamic little badges in the top left that just shows the alliance of where they're at and dynamic values.
Yeah, really, really fun project. And yeah, it's awesome that like no matter the length of this paragraph, it seems like you did a good job of kind of making them all pretty similar. But no, but that one's a little bit shorter. Like that's only 3 lines. And it doesn't feel awkward between these two. So that's awesome.
Yeah. That text flow. I love that text flow.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, and this is just a really fun project. It's a great example of how to use this. And Adrian asks, can you make the avatar fill the whole card like a CSS object fit cover?
Absolutely. I mean, so it's at that point, it's really just positioning it where we want it, right? So like even if we went back to your demo, like it's really just setting that we set the width and the height to be that avatar, right? And we're going to be positioning it how we want in relation to the other stuff. Where maybe the other stuff we apply the text and it sits over top. We could probably maybe be able to set like a background color on those text nodes so that we can see them where apparent.
I kind of have an
idea. But it's really combining those different things to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, so I have a quick idea. If we could try to go, so we're going to go 0, 0, but have a width and height of the full thing, if we can. And
Probably want to change that. Yeah.
yeah, and then we do crop what?
I think my headphones are dying. I'm gonna be switching to my headphones.
Yeah, something's funky where your sound's a little delayed. Is it fill? I think crop fill still. Radius none, but we want opacity 0.5, I'm guessing, or 0.2. Let's try this. Let's see what we get from this. I kind of want to do like the full. Oh, that was cool. No, why isn't that coming through? Did I kill the server? Okay, so I wanted to like a. So is this opacity value not right, Colby? I wanted to send the whole image with like a nice, just like a faint opacity, but I'm not getting it.
Let me look it up.
Is it type?
So that last preview that you showed, you set the width and the height to the full width and height, right? So that shouldn't
I'm
be
getting
small
an
like
echo
it
from
had
you
that.
somehow. Like your own
Oh, gosh.
your own thing
What
is
did I do
echoing,
now?
not through mine. You're doing like a self echo. It's interesting. Like I'm not hearing myself. Like, yeah, it was happening a little bit before, but now it's. Sorry to cut you off when you were helping. Just
I am having technical problems.
all good. Shoot. Yeah, not sure how to get that effect to happen. The chat, you know.
So what I was trying to
Yeah.
say is
Yeah.
the width and the height aren't showing the full width and height of the card, right? So like that means that it's not showing the updates, right?
I don't follow. That should be the same as the height and width of the card. Try without the opacity. Good
card,
call.
right?
Good troubleshooting tip there. So I should just see. Yep. Okay. So that's what I want. I just want it like faded. So what's the opacity?
Oh,
Does opacity need to be
sorry, I missed you creating a separate image.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So
Trying to look up what that property is.
20%.
So I think what you need to do. So it looks like it might be percent without the percent sign.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, that broke it. So
try it as just a number in there, not a string.
Nice. There we go. It just adds a little bit of interest.
Look
You know what I mean?
It's
just a little bit more interesting than the plain blue.
And it especially looks cool because of the holographic effect, how it kind of like brightens up the background.
Right. Let's try it let's see. It's like what would 50 look better or worse? Probably worse. 50's gonna be too much. It's not terrible actually, but the text gets hard to read. So let's go back to like 35. All right, cool. I just wanted to play with that. That was just my last idea. It was a nice, easy, like, you know, like whenever you see it on the news where it's like it's a vertical video, but they need it to be wide, they just do that thing where it's like a little bit blurry. Oh, can we do a blur?
Yeah, and you can even like change the color of it, like if you wanted to.
How do we? So the blur's
like
gonna be an effect,
so the
right?
blur. Yeah, let me find out what the. It might just be. Let me find out what the exact.
Sorry, I'm like tacking on things to this. And
just no.
It's
great. It's
just
so
much
good.
fun. Just, can we do this?
This is why I have been having trouble doing things that are not Cloudinary lately. You can even actually blur just the faces if you wanted to.
That's awesome.
But let me see if I can find.
Let's see, like effect.
Did you try just blur?
No, it wasn't coming up in the autocomplete, so I figured it wasn't the thing. 5. Let's see if that's a thing. I don't know. Alan, thank you for the 9 months. Yeah, time is weird. I agree. I can't believe it's been 9 months. Thank you so much for the sub, man. Always good to have you here.
Okay, so yeah, it's effects, kind of like what you were doing before, but it's going to be just a string. And I think that's going to be on the seconds. Yeah. Cool. So it's going to just be a string, I believe.
What do you mean?
Unless the SDK... I'm just looking at one of the examples. I think it's just going to be a string where the string is...
Yeah, so like 5? I have like a string of 5.
No, I'm sorry. Like the value of effect.
Oh, it's just blur?
Unless that passes through that way. Maybe it transforms it.
Value of effect is blur?
Yeah, so string blur and then a colon. And then the amount that you want to blur it.
Wait. A
So
colon?
blur
Oh, inside
the
this.
string.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
5px or 5.
Just try the number.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe add like
Already
50 just to see
50px.
that it works.
Yeah, good call. I can't
I
tell.
can't tell. Try like 300. That's what I see in the demo. That's why I say that number.
Yeah, that's blurrier for
Nice.
sure. It's and 500's not even that blurry, but yeah,
Has a nice
that's
little
so
smooth
cool,
effect onto it.
right?
And you can even like if you wanted to, like you can colorize it. So like if you wanted to remove, I kind of like that it has the different color. It makes it look a little bit more dynamic. But if you wanted to like make them all have like a very similar colored background, like you
Yeah.
can, remove the color, change it all to a certain color.
Yeah, but like chat, like look at the actual URL that we're getting back. Let me go back to just this. Like this is what we would have had to do like by hand. But this SDK just makes it so much easier. But like
Yeah.
now like that seems like a lot of upfront work. But now the next guest that I just add it into Prismic. It's in my CMS, and they're going to get an automatic card generated for them. So like that's the cool thing about this is like, does it feel like a lot of work up front that you could have just designed that in Figma way quicker? Yes. But it's that like front loading of we've done, like an hour or 2 hours worth of work to get here. And then I never need to do it again. I never need to open up Figma to get these images. Like that's just a really cool thing. And Adrian
And it
asked,
also depends on the use case, right? Because like if you're thinking about what this is, like I think the more practical example are those social cards, right? It's not like
Yeah.
you want to create a new social card image every single time. You want that to happen programmatically.
Yeah, and just you can set it and forget it kind of thing. All right, we'll take Adrian's question, then I think we're good. I wonder if you can analyze the avatar and get the most used color to apply it on the card. We talked about this earlier. Yeah, so I think Cloudinary might have like a feature somewhere buried deep in it somewhere, but I don't know if it's like in a parent. Like, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Colby?
There definitely is, and I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like I'm not gonna know how to do it right away. So the API does support it. I just don't know what the way it to do it.
Yeah.
It might be like an actual API method as opposed to like an on-the-fly transformation. But I'd be very shocked if there wasn't a way to do that.
Yeah.
Plus, there's like a lot of cool add-ons on top of that.
Got it. Yeah. When I forget what I was doing it for, but I struggled to find that like function for it. So it might exist. I just never was able to find it. That's better with the bigger text. Awesome. I could tweak this all day. This was a blast. What a fun result. Thank you, Colby. And also thank you to Simon Gollner for not letting us, but for just making this and letting me kind of copy pasta your code and you use it for this really fun effect.
Such a cool
This has been a
effect.
blast. Yeah. Colby, thank you so much. You are always welcome back here, man. It's always fun to learn something new.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Chat, let's give him a few yays in the chat. Throw some confetti up. And yeah. Oh, last thing. Tell folks where to find you.
Oh, sure. You can find me everywhere at Colby Fayock. I like to say I'm the only Colby Fayock in the world. But yeah, you can find me everywhere at Colby Fayock or spacejelly.dev.
Yeah. And honestly, just go through Colby's articles and everything. You will learn a ton. He's always creating some kind of new wonderful app combination. You are a treasure, Colby. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And let's find someone to raid. Let's do it. We built something cool. Let's go see what other people are building. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
Yep.